Hey, we're going live. We're going live. Are you ready? Ready? All right. Hey guys, this is Pixel Stabber. My name is David. This is Jeremy. In this
Hi.
video, we're gonna show you guys how to take your digital photography to the next level. Jeremy's been doing photography for like 15 years, and he started out as a digital graphics artist. So he has all these tips and tricks, and he's gonna share all that with you today. So I'm sure you're gonna get some good information out of this video. If you have questions, always ask below. So Jeremy, why don't you talk a little bit about yourself?
All right, so I'm old. I don't yell, I'm old. But currently I'm a Fuji X photographer. Fuji picked me up because they need more portrait people. And also I'm sponsored by Microsoft as well, which I love it. I get all the free laptops. Geeks. And I also teach in WPPI and different conferences. So I do train professional photographers, especially on the area of post-processing.
That's crazy because WPPI is such a big conference. All the greatest wedding photographers I know are always there. And did you know I shot wedding for 10 years and I never ever went to WPPI? Do you believe that, Jeremy?
I'm the opposite. I'm actually born in WPPI. My career spotted by WPPI.
So we have very, very different backgrounds. One of the things is that you're a digital artist by nature to start out with, then you went to photography. For myself, I just kind of went into photography by picking up a digital camera. And speaking of which, did you start photography from the digital age, or did you actually start using film when you started shooting?
I start with digital first, but I did when after a year or two, I went back and took some classes to learn how to shoot film and develop films. So, kind of get the whole backstory back end done, be a more solid background.
I give you a lot of props for actually even going that route because I don't even need to actually touch film to know how complicated it is. I started looking at online
it's a fun thing for some people, but then it's not because, in my garage, I still have some chemicals back when I was shooting film. I don't know what to do with them. They're not eco-friendly.
No, those are the worst chemicals ever. They're bad for you. They're bad for the environment. They smell. You have to have a dark room. Now we have light room, but you have to have so much around it. And the fact that you have to be very precise when you take a picture because you have like 35 shots per roll of film. Whereas in the digital age, I can take 10 shots before I dial in all my settings to get it right. So I can waste shots and not feel bad about it. I would be paranoid if I had to shoot film and be limited to 35 shots before I have to switch out the rolls. Like, that's not for me.
Actually, that varies. I mean, if you go to some of those really old school, well, I wasn't old school, but classic photography museums, right? You see some of those really good photos, they're out of focus.
Yes, yeah. I've
noticed that it's not as linear. I mean, as long as you capture something on film, it's amazing already. It's not in digital. We have so much gears. If you can't get a sharp image, then you suck because the camera is supposed to be really good.
Well, that's pixel peeping, and that's like another issue altogether, right? Then you're not worried about the moment. You're not worried about the expression. You're just worrying about making sure it's sharp, which 90% or 95% of your audience probably wouldn't even notice. And sometimes, hey, it can be part of the artistic field. It can be blurry, it can be soft. But anyway, let's just touch in a little bit about like what's the really difference between film and digital, because you have a little film background, right?
Yeah, well, if you want, because I have the same lectures that I teach in WPPI, people have to pay for it, but I'm going to share with you guys right now for free.
That's awesome. Like this is awesome. Thanks for doing this, Jeremy. And just so you guys know the context, Jeremy does this lecture at WPPI for $129. And when I never been to WPPI, but every time I see these kinds of talks, I always wanted to go to them. And you guys are in for a treat because Jeremy is sharing everything plus more because we have like unlimited time here. So this might go for like 2 hours. I don't know. Normally your presentation is like
we stuck at home doing nothing, might as well, right?
All right. Well, let's get on with the presentation. It'll be interactive. I'll ask you questions. You can ask me questions. And our audience later can ask questions below. And by the way, audience, you guys, make sure you subscribe and like this video if you haven't already done so.
Okay. So if we want to talk about photography, we did switch around from film camera to digital camera, right?
Looks the same.
So technically they're the same, but inside is different because back then there's a really big talk about how photography is supposed to capture light and shadow, right? So it translates from film to digital. Now, back in film, yes, we are really capturing light and shadow because what happens is the film has chemical on top of a plastic, and those plastic react to the light, and then it kind of translates to an image. So we are really capturing light and shadows.
Right.
But with digital comes in, it's slightly different now. We are not shooting films anymore. The light actually hitting the sensor that we place the film. So we're not just capturing, there's no chemical in it. It's just basically all tech.
Okay.
So what does that mean though? That means that we're not just capturing light and shadow, we're capturing pixels, red, green, and blue. That's what inside the sensor, and that's how that translates into a picture, okay? So once we realize that's different, film and digital are different, okay? It is different. So meaning what? Well, this is not how the sensor pays. There's different type. There's a beta one, the normal one. Most of them have the left side, and Fuji has a different one. We could talk about that. That's a whole different video we could talk about, right? This is too long for that. One thing that this is, well, I wouldn't say I'm right, but this is my belief is that as long as you believe that in digital, we are dealing with pixels, okay?
Right.
Well, let's stay on that concept first. We're dealing with pixels now.
Sure.
Okay. So what's pixel anyway? Pixel is a short-term word for picture element. You know?
Oh,
pixel,
really? I never
elements,
knew that. Huh.
Right? Makes sense.
Okay.
So that's not important. That's not even photography. That's a philosophy thing. So let's skip that. Now, if you have a picture, right? This is the picture, obviously. It's a picture. It's a photo.
Right.
But if you zoom, let's say you have Photoshop, whatever, you can zoom in, right? A lot of software. Some can, okay? But let's say you have Photoshop. You zoom in all the way to, this is like what? 1400%.
Yes.
This is what you see. What are this, David?
Yeah, pixels. Pixels. I see lots of pixels.
When you're dealing with digital camera, this is pixel. We're working with pixel. So now the concept is we see is pixel. Now what do we do with them? So now we know what we're dealing with. We could do something with them, right?
Absolutely.
So another good example, Legos, right? Lego.
Right.
By a pile of them, they're just colorful Legos. But if you know what you're doing and you have a concept and creativity, this is what you can do. You can do a whole lot with them. Have you seen that show from Fox? Like they're playing with Lego right now. Lego Fire.
I haven't seen that.
Whatever show that called.
No.
That show's amazing, actually.
I'll check it out.
The point is, if you can able to manipulate all the pixels, kind of like how Lego is, you could create whatever you want. It's not just about light and shadow.
Right. Pretty much because the image is built upon pixels, if you manipulate the pixels in the right way, you create the image. You can recreate the image.
If we go back here, imagine, see how the face of him is white, right?
Yes.
I can replace all the white to different color and change his face.
Yes. Yeah, but see, the hardest thing I struggle with that is, yes, I can replace the pixel, but how do I create the pixel so that you have this perfect gradient so it looks realistic? Because I can just replace a whole bunch of them with a paintbrush and then it starts looking like a cartoon, right? Oh. So you gotta really know how to replace your pixels.
That's where I'm leading into it soon, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
But first thing first though, here's the concept. Stay on this page first. So, for example, now all the cameras, you probably, doesn't matter which camera right now, nowadays, every single camera is easy to use, right? If you shoot Sony or actually any kind of camera right now have live view, meaning what you see is what you get. Right. Your white balance can be auto, so your camera think for you already. If you want, you could put your camera in P mode. I mean, although some of those professional cameras don't have P mode, right? But it has a certain auto modes in there that you could get automatic exposure and whatnot. It does take a lot of the hard guessing work out of it. And then back then, with the film camera, the hardest part is the focus. Now you have autofocus. You got face detection, you got eye detection, you got smile detection. Yep. That's so easy, right? So you think about it, back then with the film camera, with old tech, 90% of the time you have to figure out the technique, how to capture a photo. Right. And only probably 10% you could become creativity or whatnot. That's all the time you have left because all the time is spent dialing it in. Exactly. Now, the switch around in digital is that you only have to put a 10% effort and get the image. And you get 90% of the time to do what?
To be creative.
Right.
And you gotta really take upon that, because now the playing field is really high, because anyone that buys a digital camera or pulls out a smartphone can already take a really good photo. So
exactly.
you gotta level up your game. Now that 90% time you have to be creative, you better make use of that and be creative, right?
It's different now. Everybody has a camera, because everybody got one of this.
The cell phone. The best camera ever is the camera that's always with you when you need to take the shot, right?
So it's not about able to get a picture. It's not everybody can get a pictures. It's get a picture that is, I wouldn't use the word amazing, because every photo is supposed to be amazing because it's God's creation that we capture. But it's supposed to be representing you.
Yep.
That picture that you create supposed to represent who you are. So
I agree.
Nowadays with digital camera, with digital photography, yes, capturing is easy. Even lighting is easy. We do TTL right now.
Debatable. Lighting's easy, but if you don't accept your light, your highlights, your shadow.
Use a Stella light. Here, what you see, what you get. How's that?
Right. We talked about in the last video. If you want to check out the Stella lights.
Check out last video.
But yeah, lighting is easy, but you gotta know a little basic. So I'll give credit to people that can use a digital camera with some ability to adjust the lighting. But yes,
so a lot of people adding more, especially with lighting. But then to me, I find that a photo still doesn't matter it's film or digital. It's supposed to be long lasting. It's supposed to pass down the generations. So something in that photo has to be able to last, right?
Yes, it's gotta be timeless. It's gotta capture the moment and be looking good even 100 years from today. It's gotta look great.
Now, everybody has a different motive when they take a photo. Everybody has a different style, I would say. The style related to the personality. To me, not everybody has it right away. You have to search for it. I would say you have to search for it.
Right.
Where my begin is here, this photo. This is in France, Paris, the Louvre.
This is an amazing photo. Like I've taken a lot of beautiful pictures myself in like Bay Area and different areas, but I don't even travel outside the Bay Area. This is amazing. I would love
Paris amazing, yes, in photo, but when you actually go there, it smells, man. It's stinky. People pee everywhere, man, I'm telling you.
Oh, geez. You know, one of the things I'm always concerned about is even in the Bay Area where I shoot a lot of pictures, I always get hassled around with like security guards, police, and then just passenger people asking questions and whatnot, but mainly the security guards. Like, how do you deal with them outside of this country? How is it like that over there?
So before I was Fuji, I was a Sony artisan as well. I use Sony, and I use Sony's small mirrorless. So I think the key thing is do not bring too many gears.
That's actually a very good fact, because I always shoot with my 1DX, and even when I take that 1DX to my nephew's birthday party at the zoo, I got kicked out. They're like, this is professional gear, you can't shoot here. But I tell them, this is family, this is my nephew, they're not paying me. This is like if I was using my point and shoot or my cell phone. But because they see the big gear, they're like, can't come in.
Now, so for my career, I see people that have different motive. I mean, there's no way wrong. Some would say that I have to have the best gear, and the gears that are better than my clients, because right now anybody can purchase the camera. So I've been there before. Seriously, like I have clients have way better gear than I do when I'm shooting their wedding.
Right. Of course, as photographers, we all know it's not about the gear. Like having the best gear will give you like 1% better.
That's my true story. I tell you not. I went to one wedding while I kid you not, the groomsmen, they have a groomsmen table.
Right.
Every groomsman bought the camera.
Yeah.
Back then it was like they all had like Canon, Nikon, so I was a Sony guy. I had my Sony NEX mirrorless camera back then. NEX, okay, crop sensor.
Oh wow.
Okay, they have their like Canon 5D Mark II, Mark III, or Nikon D700s all like put on the table.
Yep.
And then one of the guys come up, approach me and say, "You're the photographer, right?" "Oh yeah." Say, "Oh wow, what kind of camera are you holding on? That little tiny thing, what is that?" "Oh, this is the Sony NEX." You know, they try to look down on me, whatever. But a lot of time during the wedding banquet, they play their slideshows.
Yes. Which
I shot the engagement picture for the couples, and they play it. They play my engagement photo, and then they come back to me again. did you shot those pictures with this thing? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I
Because,
mean,
oh man, it's not the gears.
it's not. And I bet you if I ask you to take a whole wedding with a cell phone like the iPhone 11
It
Pro
works. People
Max,
did that before.
yeah, you can do amazing with that. But the problem about that, and before we get too off track, is the last point I wanted to make is like if you're shooting for a clientele, you just have to condition them and let them know that it's not the gear that matters. I'm using this gear because it's small, low profile. We can get to all these locations and not get hassled. Plus, I can take amazing pictures with this gear. So as long as they understand that, then I can see that using compact, lightweight stuff at these locations is the solution, because otherwise you'll get hassled with the authorities and securities all the time.
Well, it's kind of very, because I have to kind of work for that too. Thanks to the Bridal magazine, they have tips on how do you choose your photographer. You got to make sure that they use good gears. Oh, this is the gear they should be using in the shooting. So that kind of gives brainwash the brides, like, oh no, he's not holding a standard gears. He's not good, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's how I fixed that, because back then I still have my own like Nikon full gear stuff. I carry my D700 with me, but holding my Sony keep shooting.
The D700 is props just to show that you actually have good gear, right?
It's like, oh no, I have this too. No, but I just keep shooting this.
But at the end, the photos speak for themselves. So
Exactly.
This photo is amazing, and that's where your inspiration starts. Can you elaborate a little bit more on how this photo starts your inspiration?
So this is where I start having my own style. Before, it's just like capture and just play around with some action and preset before and do something. But I walk into the Louvre and watch all paintings.
Wow.
They capture my heart. Like the colors. We're talking about this a couple hundred years ago. And look at the colors. Look at the way they compose the picture. Look at the way they pose people. They draw it, right?
Yes.
In my mind back then, this is way back. To me, back then, I haven't seen enough yet. I feel like, how come we have such technology? We have a little tiny device able to capture what the reality is, but we can't be at the same level as this.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no reason why, but it's just a segmentation. It's like you consider this art, and we take pictures. You don't think about this type of arrangement, this type of orientation, this type of post-processing, the effect that these paintings have. You don't connect the two. At least I don't. Like when I look at this,
that's just one reason, because we are spoiled. We have a device that's able to capture, so we do less. Back then, all these artists, all they have is one pen and a canvas.
Yes.
They put whatever's on their head onto the canvas.
Oh yeah.
As photographer, we haven't done that. We only click a button and capture what's in front of us.
Yeah, and we get lazy. I think, and even if you add lights and stuff and you think you're going above and beyond, that's nothing compared to the days, weeks, months that these artists
with back then film, it's amazing because the tech that can capture a moment, whatever in front of us and capture in film, and we long lasting. That's good.
Yep.
As far as we come here now with digital age, digital technology, we could do way more. Why stop?
Right, exactly, like you said, now that 90% of all the configuration is done for you in auto settings and auto white balance and everything is autofocus too, you have free time now to be creative, and that's where you can take that point.
The industry is booming. It's not like right now crazy right now, but it was booming back then. But I already kind of predict that people can take picture easy. So through this experience, through this journey of going to Paris, I realized one thing is, for my future in my career, I want to do two things. One, I want to be able to create images that cannot capture in camera, because that's easy. People can do that now. Second is, I want to put all this art into my photo.
Wow.
So that
very nice.
The next slide will be my current style right now. So are you ready for it?
Wow, that looks great.
So that's my style of my bridal pictures.
See, when I look at this picture, I always think about, how back in like maybe 10 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, people would take wedding pictures from the photos and take it to like an artist to actually repaint and come up with something like this.
Oh, they still do that.
They still do, huh? Okay.
They kind of have the picture digital taken already and put it on the canvas and bring it to a painter to put paints on top of the canvas. So it become a hybrid. It's like a photo painting.
Right. And I
That's
love
an art
that.
craft.
Right. And
But
it
I do
looks
it digitally.
amazing. I think that adds like another layer to like how special the photo is, right? Because you have the moment and then you go one extra step to make it a painting, and it's very artistic, and you can hang up the wall and people won't just say, oh, that's a picture, but now it's like a canvas art, right? So I can see the value. So basically you're taking a digital photo and you're adding a ton of value when you make it a canvas. So is that what you did here?
Basically I kind of learn more with the lighting, but not artificial lighting. It's natural lighting, how lighting should light a person. And then I took a lot of approach learning the classic posings. Because with this type of fine art, you have to have the classic posing and the classic lighting to match it to get a whole shebang.
Yeah,
I mean, imagine I put gel, blue gel, yellow gel, red gel in the picture like this. It doesn't work, right?
Right. No, it won't. It's a very different effect. What you're going for here is very artistic, very rustic look, and it's very elegant. I love how you pose the couple. I love how you use a simple corner of the room. Like, actually, tell me a little story about like this picture.
Well,
where was this taken?
It is the corner room. The only reason I put it in corner room because if you notice, see some of this picture they use window light. See that down there? Yeah, window light. Up there, window light. So a lot of painting, portrait, they use window light. So to me, if I ever find a window or open light source like this, I will use it regardless. I don't even use flash. I don't need to, because that's the most beautiful thing there is. So
It's very
the window's
elegant.
at the corner, so that's why I put it in the corner. And this is a couple that from Hong Kong, and they want to have their photograph taken in Venice, in Italy. So we did a consultation about like how they don't want a photo, because when they approach me, they know they want fine art picture like this because that's my style. And then we talk a little bit. So do they want just do outdoor only, or do they just want some, when you go to Venice, you have to take those gondola pictures, right?
Right. That's what you think about when you go off into those locations.
They want more. They want something more like vintage. So I say, well, instead of staying in a hotel, how about if we went some Italy or fashion, apartments like this. So we could do more photo shoot in there because, they have all the artistic furnitures in there already. It looks perfect. It looks like a painting. So we did searching and searching, and we find this apartment. This is like a 200 years old apartment in Venice.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool. So once I walk in, so this is perfect. This is like living in a painting.
Yeah. And you actually took that to heart and you made it into a painting.
Oh yeah.
This looks fantastic.
I mean, normally you see the crack in the ceiling, all that. And even we touch any of those, keep it in there, all the dirt, all the rust, keep it all there.
It's all so classic. Awesome. And I guess one thing that a lot of photographers always have an issue with, or difficulty, I should say, is posing the couple. Like these people are pre-wedding or wedding couples. They're not models, right? So how did you actually pose them? And what kind of tips and guidance?
You have to talk to the couples. So some people are really photogenic. They they could be like models, but some can't. In this case, the groom, it's not model material, I can tell you that. So you want to, when you're dealing with a client, they're not model, they're not good in front of camera, you want to do minimums. Just remember two things. The guy looks like a guy. Yes. The women look like a woman, okay?
So how do you do that? Okay.
So I always give something, there's two things that the men don't know what to do. How they stand and where they put their hands. So in this case, you know what? Don't stand. Just sit on the chairs. They feel more comfortable. Give them a comfort zone. Sitting down is giving them comfort.
Okay.
Now the hands, like, okay, just put your hand there on your knee. You gotta exactly tell them where to put it. Otherwise, it will look weird. They go like, okay, that's good, right? Yeah. No. You can't do that. So, and then one thing about lighting is always have the subject look to the light. So I have to look out of the window.
Yes.
Always. If you look the other way, I mean, look, right now I have my lighting here, right? So light looks good. If I turn it that way, my face gets out.
Horror movie.
So we don't want that. So let's say right now they're really present lighting on the face.
Yep.
And basically, as a traditional married couple, the guy will be solid, become the foundation and core of the family, and the women basically rely on him. So that's what I'm trying to create here, having the bride leaning on him, having him as a support.
Mm.
And then one thing is a lot of people miss is that on the posing, which is for the hands. Now, if you see
Yes.
her
The
pose,
hands.
her arm is actually behind her shoulders.
Yes.
A lot of time that they will have people put their hand behind the man, which
Yeah.
in this portraiture, you will be missing a hand, an arm actually.
Yeah,
So
you'll wrap it around the man, but
wrap around. So in this case, I have her hand put back in the front, so we see both her hands in the picture. It would be more pleasing. You can't tell right now, but if you imagine have photo that her arm is not there, hidden. You only see one arm. Like, I mean, if you look at me right now, you got one arm. It looks weird, right? Now,
yeah,
it looks okay.
yeah, I can see that. Was that inspiration coming from like the artist's paintings, or is that just from experience?
That is the classic portraiture look. If you go back on a
Okay.
portrait, that's the way to do.
Mhm.
If you go, I'm not talking about current day portrait, the old
Mhm.
studio day portrait. You know,
Oh,
have you've been at high school, right? You know how to sit down, turn this way, and
yeah,
turn all that.
yes.
That
Oh,
comes
yes.
from the old classic portrait.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I
So
remember those. It was torture to take those high school
it
pictures.
was, but then I was surprised because I was like twisting my freaking back,
Yeah.
but it turned out looks pretty good in the end.
Ooh, yeah, it looks all right. But what you did with this photo, like you took that to the next level by combining them and using the window light and having them interact with the elements around them. It's just very, very
Oh, that's different.
pleasing
Back then,
picture.
with the high school picture we're talking about, we only do like a
Yeah.
body shot.
Yeah,
So
and it's just you
yeah, that's
too.
how you twist your body down there. But I'm talking about full body here. The whole
Right.
body, the whole person has looked good.
So this is your style. I love it. I love it. This looks amazing.
Mhm.
What else do you have? Oh wow,
Like this,
love this one too.
portrait. Also,
Beautiful.
again, it's window light.
Yes, I noticed that right away. That
Mhm.
the light coming in is so soft. Now you do a lot of digital processing. Did you enhance that light, or is that just really the natural light?
No,
that came
this
in?
we did a natural light. She's next to the
Really?
window.
And I guess, but see, even window light is normally very harsh. The light is just so soft. I find it hard to believe
It
that's a
has,
window light.
well, for this case, they have
Yeah.
this like thin, kind of not transparent, but white sheet in front of the window. It
Yeah,
becomes a diffuser.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I forgot what they're called, but you're right. There's
You
like
can see how her face on
the
the
thin sheet.
edge, the shadow
Yeah.
looks quite soft here. Oh, what happened?
Amazingly soft.
Like, oh, did you see my laser pointer?
Yeah, I love your
I
laser
can
pointer.
point out now. Ha ha ha. See right there
Very
is
cool.
soft. The whole thing is
Yes.
soft. Look at the shadow; they're all soft. So that's
Yes.
how they turn out to be. I mean, I know Flash. I know how to use Flash, but then if I could able to use natural light, I would use natural light.
So like again, I'm coming back to like the lighting is amazing. It's so soft, so beautiful using window light. Now, lighting is one thing, but posing is another. Like, where do you get your inspiration for these type of poses?
My
It's just,
inspiration is about
yeah.
storytelling, because in a picture,
Mhm.
unless you're doing those high edgy, you know how those models go like that, right? What kind of story? Imagine when you look at that pose, what is she
It's
doing?
fashion. It's fashion. It's just fashion.
No, you got to explain to normal people what are they doing. So if you look
There's no
at,
reason that they're
I'm trying
doing
to
that.
match the oil painting light. The
Yes.
key point about every single oil painting is they are telling a story,
Yes.
right? Even a normal portraiture, they put something within the frame to showcase who that person is. If that person is a doctor, you see some kind of doctor equipment next to the portrait to show who this
Right.
person is. It's
Yeah.
always about storytelling. So I always give them action to do. That in this case, she's reading a book.
Very natural. But like, do you come up with this inspiration on the day of, like while you're taking this picture, or
Yeah,
did
on
you
the
have
day
to
off,
think?
pretty much.
Like, really? You're just like, there's a book. Hold this book. Now read the book, type of thing. Really?
Work with the environment.
Very nice. I mean, I do that as a wedding photographer too, but like, this is like another level because you've really crafted
this
this
photo,
scene.
the other one I have her is actually sitting in front of the mirror behind her and just
Yep.
playing with the hair. So
Yep.
it's always an action going on.
Yeah, we've learned that in our wedding photography too, is guiding them to do action. The tricky part is like how to freeze the action too. So when you shot this picture, did you actually guide the action and ask you to
not
hold
moving.
it?
It means it's holding the book.
Okay. So you actually, it's an action, but it's a frozen action.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because otherwise you're just like doing a lot of things and it's hard to get the moment. perfect. This looks amazing. I love your style using the natural lighting and old modern style.
And the processing on this, you could tell that I add the house, the wall, the kind of greenish cyans.
Yep.
So if you notice all the old photo, it's kind of similar, but they have yellow in them. So I actually add a bunch of yellow into the photo to make it look that kind of colorful.
Very nice. Cool.
So this is actually a wedding day portrait. This is a bride in Spain. This is one of the hotel room they had, also using window light. Then this one's a bit different because of Spain. European tend to love more darker and more contrasty picture. If you know, I don't know if you noticed. See all this?
Yeah.
So darker, more contrasty.
Right. Yeah, I love that the focus is like on her face and not everywhere else, because like modern day photography, it's so easy to like bring your Stella Pro lights and have like 3 of them, right? Shine one outside the window, shine one behind her, give her a hair light. But you have one light source, but you didn't bother to put other light source. I can see that because it just draws my attention to her, and it's very realistic. It's very believable.
I think one of the things that people missing when they learn about posing and lighting is these two things goes together. The reason you light because you want to create shadow, and you use the shadow to shape the person so that they look thinner and better. Yeah,
and you highlight the curves or you highlight the details in the dress. Lighting is very powerful if you use the right way.
So this is probably one of the favorite spots. Well, not favorite spot. One of the spots that I went the most because everybody want to pick a picture in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Right. And I love how it's so sharp and not what the trendy photographers do these days is like shoot shallow depth of field, But here you have them sharp and the tower beautifully in focus too. I love this.
That's probably due to because the focal length that I either use 24, 35, or 50. I don't go beyond because if you have an 85 or 7200 to shoot this, the Eiffel Tower become blurry.
Yeah, and very big. You have the compression too. Yeah, so that's
my favorite focal length for this type of, I call it environmental portrait, is 35 millimeters.
And that's with a crop or without a crop? Is that
full
real
frame.
35?
Full
frame. So full frame 35. Yeah, that's a good focal length. I tend to not shoot 35 full frame too much just because it's so wide. There's so much to worry about. I can see how
that's the difficulty with it. It's all about compositions. You know how to compose the picture.
Yeah, I guess that's my weak point is like the composition isn't my strongest point, which is why I focus on the people because it's easy to get them in the rule of thirds. Here, I notice they're not even in the rule of thirds. They're just right in the center, but it just gravitates my attention. Yeah.
There's nothing else to distract them. There's only 2 elements, actually 3 elements in there. The couple, the stairs, and the Eiffel Towers. You can't miss them.
Beautiful. It is so good. It is so... I love this.
Again, you could tell it's in action. It was kind of slowly raining there. That's why they have the umbrella. But you can see that how the groom is actually holding the hand of the bride and walking upstairs. There's an action there. So that's a pose.
Yes. Yeah, it's a pose. It's a posed action. Like you pose
also, it's easier when you tell them to do action rather than put your hand here, put your leg here.
Right.
You can tell them to do action and then treat their hands and arms and legs later.
Yeah.
That way it'll be much better. You have a foundation.
Right, and they're already thinking about it because they can envision what they're looking like instead of, hey, what am I doing? Why are my hands in these positions? Very cool. Love it.
Oh, this one's a lucky shot. This one's a totally lucky shot. This is in Prague.
Yeah.
It's one of the garden in Prague, and they have some. I didn't even know when I get there. They have some peacocks in there, and somewhat we saw. Actually, we finished the photo shoot. This is finished. We're leaving. You can see kind of have a sunset. We saw white peacocks. Like, oh my God, we have to take a picture with white peacock with the bride. I mean, what's the chance of that? I have not seen a wedding picture out there that has a bride with the white peacock yet.
I have never either in all my years of shooting weddings.
Mine is the only one.
This is pretty cool. And it's a big white peacock and she has a big white dress. It's like meant to be.
It's the problem of dealing with animal because we try to attract the bird, get close to the bride, but we have no bird. You can see her hand has nothing in it. We just I
didn't even notice that. That's so cool. How did you get the bird not to turn away? Like
crop the peacock's feet and tail. I mean, that's a bad no-no as a photo. But then you can't control wild animals.
You can't
It's
tell
what
them
it
what to
is.
do. You can't pose the bird. But this is great. This is a beautiful moment capture, a true photojournalistic moment. But I still see that you have the artistic style. It's still very, the way you post process it. What is that word I'm looking for? It's got the classic art look to it.
It's more like a Renaissance type of color.
Yeah.
I mean, I had the
Yeah.
cyan, the green, and a bit of yellow in the white. So that kind of mix up with that, so it kind of keep the theme.
Love it. Love it. Very simple
Another
style
one
that you can
in
incorporate together.
Rome. What's this structure?
Beautiful.
Colosseum. There you go.
Colosseum. Yep.
Yep. So this is another one that if you ever been to Rome and Colosseum, down there, it's full of people. And you can't go in the Colosseum and take pictures because you just can't. But we could take it from
And why would
outside.
you? You can't see the whole building when you're inside.
Yep. That's why we went up a little bit to a little hill on the side and then back here. So boom, got half the Colosseum in the background and a couple lit it with, it's a gloomy day. So we have to lit them with flash on one side, you can tell.
Yep.
From above. 45 angle up.
Just one light,
One light.
umbrella.
Yes. That's what I bring to pre-wedding photo shoot, umbrella. Not a softbox.
Yeah.
Softbox take too much to open up, whatever. Umbrella basically close it. Boom.
Technically,
Also,
they're the same thing.
European wear
right?
is orange ring, so my diffuser umbrella adds umbrella too.
You know, I always thought about that, but my photography umbrella doesn't seal water. I don't know about you, but my photography umbrella has leaks.
Oh, it doesn't. It just helps a little. Don't even think about using it as a wheel umbrella. It doesn't work.
No. I tried it. It didn't work. So just FYI for anyone thinking to do a dual purpose translucent umbrella and a real umbrella. But yeah,
there are some works with it, but yeah, I wouldn't. Just somewhat, if you want to cover up a little bit, it helps. But
as an emergency, yeah.
Yeah,
but
I broke so many of those ones. That's why I only buy cheap ones.
Right. Yeah, and they fly off, and I don't even tie them to my light stand. I rather them fly off than pull my light stand down. But the fact that you have a portable lighting system with umbrella is genius, because technically a softbox, what makes it so soft is because you have a large light source, right? And with the umbrella, you're essentially doing the same thing. You just don't have the bouncing part to get the extra light, but essentially you get the soft, large light source. So that's really cool.
There's only two things that softbox different than umbrella is that if you're in a studio indoor environment, you don't want the light from the back to spill back, bounce back.
The spillage, I forgot about that.
But if I'm outdoor, the light is not going to bounce back. Having a softbox or umbrella is the same thing.
Yes.
You think about that. It's the same thing when you do outdoor.
Yes. Well, I think the softbox has a small, tiny advantage, right? Because the softbox has a reflective part behind the flash. So it bounces back that extra light into the picture, versus the umbrella, you only get the part that shoots forward. The part that shoots back, you kind of lose, right? So minor difference, but for portability, it makes absolute sense to use an umbrella.
If you are thinking about using speed light, those the 800 or whatever, puts a lot of power there. Every single joule of power is something. But with a lot of new flash right now, they're like the minimum voltage is 200.
Oh,
so you have more, or 400. You have more than power enough to do whatever you need. You don't really need that much anymore.
Fair enough.
You can go at Sanderson in full power, and the recycle away is probably 2-3 seconds. Right?
Cool. Yes, I love the architecture. I love how you put the fine art color post-processing into it. I like the lighting. The posing is great. They're doing action. They get the moment. Beautiful work.
It could be better, but they're really stiff on the post. You can tell they're kind of stiff, but at least it get that story out. That's all that matters. And then this one here is a bride in Macau.
Of all the ones you've shown, this one has, to me, the most painting-like look. I love this one.
I spent a lot of time on it.
Beautiful. I love the gradual brightness of the sky kind of blending in with the whole light, where everything is bright on the top there and it gets dark in the bottom.
So the sky was over. It was over. So some of this color I have to paint it in by hand.
Wait, the sky was overexposed, you said?
the sky is more like this color. It's all flat,
okay.
this colors.
Okay, it's a
See
flat,
how
like
some of this,
overcast day.
yeah, overcast. So some of this I actually darken it, so it's
Right.
gradients.
Little dodge and burn.
But this is before I learned that not software can replace sky, but I'll show you later. This is a long time ago. So.
This is all Photoshop that you did all this in. But this is nice. I mean, I can see how the original photo is nice, but looking at how you post-process this, I've never seen your original photo, but I can tell you for sure, I love this version much more than
also
on camera.
If you notice on her pose, her arms, this is a good tip. If have you ever shot someone like in bright sunlight? She's looking at the sun actually, but then at the same time, I actually got another flash to film her more. I have a flash on this side. It's not natural light. I have one of those flash. This is way back I'm talking about, right? So, remember at home we have those 4 flash backlight?
Yeah.
I had one of those 3 flash one.
3 flash bracket, yep. So flash and stairs, I hate it because how do you put the light stand on the stairs?
You see how back here? I have a system stand right here. Get the light.
Okay.
So she's not far away. That's why all 3 of those flashes like almost in full powers.
Very nice.
You see how bright the whole thing is, right?
Yep.
The whole environment, so that makes it difficult. But here's the thing though, for the pose, because she is in direct sunlight and she can barely open her eyes, so I have her put her arm here. For one, it looks elegant, at the same time it blocks a little sun.
That's clever, but you can't see the part because if it blocks the sun, there's gonna be shadow on her face.
No, on the other side though.
Oh, I didn't even notice
so you can
that. See. Oh my gosh, the small details. Love it.
And then also, if you notice here, make sure the arm are not flat down and cover the body and got the angle, and also you can see her feature. So it wouldn't hit it. Because you have to
have a little space right here.
To here, it kind of make her body thicker. Yeah. Release that.
Yeah, plus it's more interesting to see these arcs and then have the natural curve on her back too. So you brought out
if I get a chance, I can show you my composition and posing lectures that talk about triangles.
Ooh, let's save that for the next time because that's a real treat too. I love to learn about posing. Even though I've been doing this for 10 years, I still struggle with posing, and I'm sure a lot of people share my struggles too. But let's save that for the next video. Yep.
Okay. And another one which is kind of new and down.
Ooh, nice. I've never seen this one before.
The reason that I have kneel down because the light was kind of low. If she stand up, the light would muddy on her face. So I have her kneel down instead to get this portrait because the light looks good.
Yeah, I mean, the story behind all these photos is like, it's one thing that the photo looks great, but it's interesting to know the story, like the struggles that you had to work around in order to get this amazing photo. In a way, the difficulties of the situation helped you create this masterpiece too. So it's kind of funny.
Well, so this is pretty straightforward portrait. Most of the time you have the one-way directions. You see how the light basically cut her face by creating shot on one side and her arm tip. Just doing that is classic portraiture lighting and posing that make her half the size.
Yeah, it's thinner. Shadows. Yep, the shadows make her thinner. Yep. Just like how I see your shadow on your face too. It helps thin your face.
Yeah, otherwise
very
I'll
nice.
Be fat.
Cool. Love this photo.
There's another portrait I did in Spain with, this is a flamingo dancer. It's one of those different type of portraits. I really like the texture of the wall and her fan. It's create a lot of different color textures and wow factors. So, and it got beautiful eyes. So I just want to showcase that one eyes.
This photo has so much going for it. Like you said, the colors, the texture, and even the play with the shadows in the back. And of course, she has the eyes, and she's got this look looking right into the camera. So all these is great elements all thrown into one photo. It's like a treat for my eyes. I love this.
So you want to know about the tools I use?
Yeah, I mean, you've shown all these great pictures that you took to the next level by processing them, right? So how do you do all this? I'm very curious now because all the pictures I take never look this great.
So this is the tools I use. I use Photoshop.
Okay, I know Photoshop.
4.2 now, and also Snap R4.
So there's 3 different softwares you use to get this effect. So what are the difference between the software? Did they work together? Did they work separately? Do you work with this one in order? Or how do you use
They kind of
these?
work together. They kind of work together to produce the look. So we can talk about each one of them. For example, for Photoshop,
right.
The good thing about Photoshop is it has pixel level editing that Lightroom cannot do. Well, I use Photoshop exclusively. There's two reasons for that. One is I'm not that good with Lightroom because Lightroom cannot do what I want it to do.
Well, that's where I went up to you because that's all I use is Lightroom. So I might know a thing or two more about Lightroom than you. Maybe.
Second is I start with freaking Photoshop 4.0, not CS4, Photoshop 4.0.
What year is that? In 2007, 2006 or something like that?
2005, I think.
Oh gosh, I remember those days.
So when I started, there's no Lightroom. Yeah, I started Photoshop, so I start with it all the time. And it, to be honest, it's still the most powerful softwares out there.
It is, but it's not workflow based, which is why a lot of photographers use Lightroom because you can just go through all the photos really quick, doing simple edits and corrections, and just go through. But when you open a photo in Photoshop, you're gonna do some work on it. I can tell.
And then it gives it a painting option because you have the paintbrush. And ultimately, you have the multi-layers option. I could do a lot of layers on top of an image to do a lot of blending, which that comes with the blending option. We could talk about that later. But like you said, the hard thing, the con about this is it has steeper learning curve. It's not that easy to learn.
Extremely hard. Like literally, I don't know the details of how to use Photoshop in all my 10 years of shooting pictures. Like I still don't know.
You know what I tell my students about why they keep saying, oh, it's so hard to learn, so hard to learn. But if you go through it with the lecture, that I'll tell you why. One thing is, Photoshop is a software that built for not just for photographers. 3D artists use it, painter use it, architect use them. It's a multi-platform software, meaning that the tools in there is not just for photographers to use.
That would make sense because, yes.
You think about that. If you're photographers, all you need to learn is the tools in there that help you to work with your photos. Not every single tools, right?
So you're just overwhelmed with all these tools, which is why it seems like
you don't have to learn 100% how the tool works before you work on photos.
Oh yes,
they don't sync together. You don't have to learn 100% how software works before you can retouch a photo. You don't.
That's an eye opener. That's actually very, very important.
A lot of people just keep looking at all this Photoshop tutorial here. I gotta learn every single tool before I start working it. No, just learn the stuff that you need to learn, how to get your style up, and that's it.
Right.
That would eliminate that so-called steep learning curve.
Yep. Definitely agree. I mean, I don't know too much. I know a little bit, but I'm looking forward to the rest of your presentation. So I can pick up I want to be able to pick up some small tips that will take my Photoshop just a little bit more than where it is now, and I'll be happy. So I'm looking forward to some tips.
Well, unfortunately, we live in a really fast-paced world right now, so learning thing is tough. But good thing that the next software, well, this is why I do Photoshop, by the way. You see how many layers I got?
That's a ton of layers. I mean, like I was gonna say, we kind of have layers in Lightroom, but not really because you can have a brush and you can have a couple layers.
Yeah, you got layers in Lightroom. I don't see that you can transfer this photo from Lightroom to this in Lightroom.
No.
So
this is a precision
tool.
Only
Photoshop can achieve.
Yeah. This is a precision tool, and Lightroom is just like a quick and dirty post processing. This is fine editing.
Yep. This is how many layers I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15,
like 23,
17, 18, 19, 21.
21. That's pretty impressive.
My all-time score is 53.
That's a lot of layers to handle. And then
I have a different approach. I'm like a problem solver type of person. Like I have a plan. I know where I need to go with the photos, but I see something wrong, I fix it. I see something wrong. So every single layer might not affect a lot. Maybe if you look at some of those,
it might be a small mask here.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I have a lot of layers.
Yeah. Fair enough, fair enough. But I mean, like, you can also merge layers too. Like once you get like all these pieces
Oh, this is
fixed,
my
you can
master
merge them.
file. Some of those master file I don't have, so I could go back and change the stuff if I wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
So
But
that's
like
why
the
people are
results,
thinking like, okay, Lightroom is non-destructive and Photoshop is
yeah,
destructive. That's because you don't save a PSD file. If you save a
yeah,
PSD file, it's non-destructive.
yeah. As long as you don't merge the layers, then it's non-destructive.
Because
Very,
back
very
then people
much
argue,
true.
well, you waste a lot of storage. But nowadays, how much is the hard drives right now?
They're cheap.
They
You can
didn't
get like
matter.
for $200, you can get like a 12 terabyte drive.
Mhm.
That's nuts. That's just nuts, man.
You think about all this
Ah,
technology basically erase all your problems.
they should, but you also need a decent sized computer to run Photoshop and process all this, or maybe
Oh, that
not.
too.
Do you need a beefy computer for Photoshop?
Sorry?
Do you need a beefy computer for Photoshop? Like, what do you use to power your
I
Photoshop
think I
editing
have
machine?
32 gig of a quad drive in there and 32
Okay,
gig of RAM.
but
That
your
should be enough.
computer is not like the most modern one. It's like 5 years old or something like that, right?
Oh yeah. My
Yeah.
computer is
So
like
you
5 to 6 years old.
okay. So that proves my point. It's like even though it can do so much, it relative to today's technology, you don't need the top of the line computer. A 5-year-old, six
Oh,
year
I
old
just tested.
computer
This is like a
should be.
exactly 6 years old computers.
There you go.
I work with crop sensor images. I have a Fuji X-T3.
Yep.
Files not that big. Process
Yep.
pretty fast. I work
Yep.
with full frame cameras before.
Yep. Yep.
42 megapixel, still pretty
Yep.
fast.
42
And I
megapixel. Wow.
and I shot with 50 megapixel medium format,
Hmm.
Fuji FX, still process pretty fast. So I don't see a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's the bottleneck that we don't have anymore. Is technology has exponentially grown so that even like we were talking about the simple camera, you can buy like a $200 mirrorless camera right now and take amazing photos. You don't need to spend a lot. And just same with the computers. Like you can use a 6-year-old computer as long as you know how to use Photoshop and manipulate. You can get amazing pictures like what you have here, right? It's
In reality, the
technology is
bottom line
not
is
limiting.
we have more than enough technology to help us create.
Yes.
We don't need to buy
We,
more gears. Let's just create.
as long as we're not lazy about it, right? Because all the technology, like you said, allows us to be lazy and not think because it's so easy. Just take a picture of the moment or take 5 and you get one good one. There you go.
See, I
And just
get it
leave it as
that people
that.
say, oh wow, I can't spend so much time on a picture like this. I'm a
Right.
wedding photographer. Because for my wedding picture, if I do wedding day, I go to Lightroom too, because the camera,
Yep.
all that is amazing. Just finish one photo, select all the same lighting pictures, synchronize, boom, done.
Yep.
It's wedding picture, that's it. It's more like event. But then
Yep.
you always have a couple ones that is your special babies that
Oh
you
yeah.
capture, which is your portfolio. You want to spend more time and make it look good and post on your website.
Yeah, and I think there's value in it for a wedding too, because so you can have packages where you say there's 5 artistic premium photos that you're gonna deliver, and throughout the day you'll pick the 5, or you let them pick the 5, where you will turn the picture into a masterpiece, or
So
you
this
can
is what I
use
do.
like yeah,
If you get able to produce something that you know other people can't, right?
yes,
So my deal is that you know how wedding photographer will upsell photo albums or photos,
yes,
right?
yep,
Pages like that. I don't
yep,
do that. I let them. If you want to buy album, buy it. You don't want to buy album, fine. But
mm-hmm.
I upsell on images. I charge $150 extra per single image.
I would pay that. I mean, not only is the time you put into it, but it's also the artistic
Yeah,
ability you
I gotta
add.
make that time worth too, because you can look at this. I spent a
Yeah,
lot on how I post process an image, so I'm gonna
yeah,
make money for
yeah.
it.
Of course, and just like anything else, like you buy a painting, it costs hundreds of dollars because there's value added. And just because this is all digital doesn't mean there's no value added. There's time and creativity and experience that you put into a photo like this. So again, that's the tip, that you can make your photos better by pushing it an extra level up, processing it digitally to turn a simple photo into a piece of fine art
And
with
that's why I
time,
keep
experience,
pushing,
and
teaching on
resources.
this concept of post processing and make your image better
Right,
and different.
right.
Because the marketing and branding, basically everybody can do. You can find someone out there with SEO that can teach you or actually help you SEO your site.
Yeah.
But when as a bride, as a client, they shop around.
Yeah.
When they see 10 photographers, okay, so your marketing is so good, your portfolio got up to where the client can see you now. Okay.
Yes.
But
Top hit, man.
you are actually
Number
fighting
one in
with
Google.
9 different photographers, which
Yes.
has the same style as you do. Guess what the client will look at next beside your photos?
Price.
Exactly. That become a price war.
Yeah.
Now, but imagine this, okay? If you're one of the photographers and all the other 9 photographers has the same style and then you stand out, okay? You're different.
There's no reason to price war because you're a whole different league. There's nothing to compare you to.
None other people has. And then yes, you are better pricier. But if the client wants something exclusive, they will go for you.
And that's definitely worth the premium. And it's a tangible premium you can see. Like I'll have to defend the other 9 photographers because they might have better customer service. They might have like a portfolio of like different places that the client's been to. They might have a better website. They might have a personality built into their branding. So they have other things too. But the most tangible thing you see right away when you look at the website is, wow, these photos are different. This is the Bay Area Bridge, but the way Jeremy takes it, it looks like a piece of art. I can see so much value in that. And that's definitely how you can add value to your digital photography and step up the game to the next level and be different from all the rest, for sure.
Of course, doing business-wise, the whole marketing and branding is important because, it's business. But I'm in photography business. The reason I could be in food business, I could be out of business, that's making money. But if I'm in photography business, meaning that I like photography and I want to do the best I could. So I try to do the best I could.
Yeah, and this is something you can be proud of too. Like you can spend a couple hours on this and it's like, dang, I took this photo and I made it like this. And this is you can't do this without the combination of the posing, the lighting, taking the picture, then putting it into Photoshop or any of the tools you use, and then post-process it with creativity, with experience, with artistic background. It's a product. You're producing a beautiful product, something to be really proud of, for sure. For sure.
I kid you not. I love it so much that when I process, I put my headphone because I don't want it too loud and my family. I have my rock music on. That's my processing music. I spend hours on it, and then once I'm done, I actually stand up, jump up, and start dancing. Oh yeah!
Yeah,
that's how excited I get when I finish the image.
Oh yeah, I can totally see that. Well done. This example here is just an amazing one too.
Friends call me weirdo because they hate post processing. They outsource it because they don't want to do anything. They just want to keep more shooting. But the other way around, I'm actually excited to bring the image back home and start processing now.
I mean, to each their own. I think this is a special gift and a skill that you have to add.
Well, one thing a lot of people didn't know about my background, I think I told you about it, is I was a photo retoucher first before I'm a photographer. That's probably why.
And it sets you apart. And if those other photographers are all the same, then that's a problem they need to fix too. Because fine, you could be with the crowd, but then when it's time for the bride to pick you as a photographer, like you said, it's going to be a price war unless you can stand out from the rest somehow. This is one way you can stand out, and this is something I can see definitely.
Oh yeah, well, not for this picture. We'll move on. This is like a personal project we did.
Sure, but still, the time and effort into making the picture what it is. So yeah, let's move on to the next picture and get back to like the wedding theme or like portraiture theme. This is before and after.
Oh, this is the before picture?
Yeah.
And this is the after. So I removed all the junk in the wall and put some textures and fine tune some contrast and lightings in there to make it more.
Yeah. So just a rough estimate. How long did that take you to do post-processing?
I'd say 4 or 5 hours, I think. Because I take my time. It's not like a one full flow. It's more like trial and error. Oh, this doesn't work. Let's try this. This doesn't work. Let's try that.
Right. And that's where you become an artist.
Well, this is creating because it's a personal project. Yeah. But of course, if it's for work and for bridal, I mean, there's what you're going for. Bridal is happy, artistic, and making sure the person looks pretty. So we have a guideline there. But when you're doing something out of the blue, this is like random, and then you just have to figure stuff out.
Fair enough. That's good. Let's look
Okay.
for some hacks.
So
Oh,
what and then the next software this really helps is Luminar 4.2. It's actually
okay.
Luminar 4, but the newest version is 4.2. What's so
Okay.
special about it is the AI assistant editing. It has a computer AI in there to help you. You know how when you have to go adjust the photo, go exposure, white balance, contrast,
Yep.
sharpness.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I only have one bar for you. It's called AI.
Just click that and you let the computer
Yeah, the computer will kind of
artificially
calculate what the
intelligence
image
calculates.
needs. Okay.
Does it?
And
But it's always been an option, even since like 10 years ago. But AI used to not be good because it might just do a random preset and it'll look terrible. Like,
well, you know what? AI is not good back then because AI require data. Now that we have enough data to basically tell the AI what to do. You think what your iPhone has that, right? Series and then Google, they have all that now. Data is the new money.
Yeah, I mean, there's a combination of machine learning and artificial intelligence, right? Because you can build AI with simple logic. If it's too dark, turn it bright. But then they have to compare it to like all the other thousands and millions of scenes they've done. It's like, okay, well, in this situation, this is bright because it's the background, but we want to keep that exposed properly. So it uses all that knowledge and builds.
And I work closely with this company. The company that created Luminar 4.2 is called Skylum. Sorry.
Skylum.
I actually work with them. They work with a lot of professional photographers to ask these people, like, how do you see photos? How do you, they know how every single professional photographer, how they need the photo. That's how they created AI.
Right, and that makes sense because you want to make sure you interact with all your resources that you're gathering data in to get a variety of samples from different photographers, different styles of photography, and kind of collaborating all that. So when you click on that one AI button, it's pretty much a one button fits all, right? No matter what your style is, it's going to do its best based on all this information it has to make the best photo. So of course it's not 100%, but as it sounds like what you're telling me, it gets you really, really far, right?
Oh yeah, because to be honest, when they first introduced this, and then I was playing around with the software, the AI assistant, it's freaking me out because shit, man, as a retoucher, I feel like I'm beginning to fading out because
you're being replaced, man.
Yeah, take over.
AI is taking over.
It got me a little bit worried there, just to be honest. And then they introduced AI sky replacement and portrait retouch.
Killed you. You're dead.
Man, it saved me so much time, man. I'm telling you.
So you can you're looking at the bright side.
Yeah.
So it helps you.
Rather than scare of it, I can work with it and create more. Just like how digital photography allow me not to worry about the technicals and I could create more. And now, because all the grunt work, skin retouching and then replacing, those are grunt works. They're not creating.
Masking something out just so you can clip the sky. Yeah.
So it takes away all the grunt works for me, and I can focus more on making the picture looks amazing.
Or do more of it. Like instead of like not being able to do it at weddings, now you can take like 25 from a wedding and go through this process, and you can probably hammer them out.
This software works kind of like how Lightroom is. It has its own library. It could do photo management. Let's say you have a whole wedding in there. You finish one photo with all the processing. You can sync all that to all the photo in the folder.
What? Is it good? Is this because it's AI, right? It's smarter than Lightroom. Because Lightroom,
you just smarter than Lightroom because let's say if you finish one photo in Lightroom, put your exposure to like 55, When you sync this picture to all the other pictures, it will always sync the exposure to 55.
Right.
So unless your picture is really needed that exposure adjustment, it will work. If it doesn't, that so-called synchronization of preset fail.
Right.
That's Lightroom.
Yes, that's why I never liked the synchronization because some of my photos are bright.
If you don't work with the manual adjustment and you work with the AI adjustment, every single picture you sync, it will calculate what exposure it needs rather than a fixed number.
Right, because it uses AI, reuses AI in each picture versus doing AI once and then getting a preset to apply to all.
Yes.
Right? That makes sense. I want to see that in action.
Much smaller.
I love that. Maybe one day I'll see it in action. Maybe I'll try this out. I think Luminar has a free trial, right?
Yeah, they do.
And also, if
We should
anyone
have a
wants
link
Luminar,
in the
yeah, I was about to say, yeah, because you work for them. Thank you for hooking up our viewers with the link for a discount. Click on the link, and the discount varies, but it shows up, and you can see the before and after. It's pretty good saving. I haven't used this tool yet, but I've seen what it can do, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Yeah. All right. Cool. There's some cons though.
That's the interface for Luminar.
You gotta go back. You gotta go back one side because I'm always curious about the cons.
Oh,
what is the con?
The con, that to me, it has less retouching tools because you figure that they want to keep the software simple. So they don't put a lot of features in the software, which also a pro because there's no steep learning curve. It's easy to use.
Yes, like you don't get overwhelmed with too much stuff, right?
So this software is, I would say, stuck in between of Photoshop and Lightroom. It's a good base for almost everybody who loves photography. Rather you're a pro or you just want to have fun with it. It's perfect. The reason is
it's all you need too, right? You don't need to have Photoshop.
Oh yeah,
you
this
don't need to
software
have
can be a
Lightroom.
standalone
By itself.
software and also plug in for both Adobe and Lightroom. I mean Photoshop and Lightroom.
What? Wait, what? So
and
when you buy it, does it come?
Unlike Adobe, you have to pay monthly.
Right.
Wait one time, and then you own the software.
But do you get the upgrades when they upgrade over time?
For update, you get it.
Yeah.
Upgrade, you could pay a little bit to upgrade.
Okay, so but that's still a value because like
Photoshop, choice you want to upgrade or keep using the old software, right?
Yeah, and you always have
choice anymore.
No, you just have to keep paying. And wait, this is crazy too because you say there's plugin for Lightroom, there's plugin for Photoshop, and
no, it's the same software. Once you install software, it will help you install the plugin into both Photoshop and Lightroom.
Oh, so when you buy it, was it what price it comes to all three, or how does that work?
No. One thing. When you buy that software, it's included all
everything. Oh, sweet. I like it.
When you're in Lightroom, you could add it in Photoshop, and now in Lightroom you can add it in Luminar.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I love it. The pros are great. The cons, not really a con in my opinion. But I think the con is a pro too, because for me, I don't like to be overwhelmed with tools.
The con is for me, not for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's got all these AI intelligence. It's got the layer functions, which you don't have in Lightroom. It's easy to use. It's got the image management of Lightroom. Yeah, not overwhelmed with tools. I think it's a perfect medium for someone like me that wants to do a little bit more than the Lightroom workflow, but I just can't handle Photoshop yet. This is perfect, but let me see a little bit more about what this can do.
So this is the interface. You can see it's pretty simple.
Yep. On the right? All the stuff on the right there.
Yep.
Very nice. That's all the tools you got?
Mm-hmm. Well,
that's all you need, huh?
You know what? Why don't I just open it up to show you? You want to do that?
Let's do that. I want to see. Wow, that's exactly what I wanted to see.
Oh, this is before and after. Yeah, that's the sky replacement. One click.
One click. Okay, you're telling me one click, but I don't believe you. I'm gonna count how many clicks.
Well, not one click. One click to choose the sky, and then you adjust it. You don't have to mask it.
Right. So it's still one operation. It's not like you have to mask. You have to like feather, and you have to.
It's easy. I'm gonna show you. How's that?
Let's take a look at it.
Let's look at it. Okay, so I'm in Photoshop. I'm going to use this like plugin, okay? So this image you can see is the skies blow out, right? So what I said is plugin, so right there.
Okay.
Skylab software under filter, Luminar 4.
Luminar 4. Okay. This is where your 6-year-old computer starts to bog down?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean...
It takes a little time to load, I noticed. But after it loads, is everything pretty quick and snappy?
Oh, no, it's pretty smooth when it's low.
Nice.
There, see?
Cool. It's got to load up all those robots doing the artificial intelligence for you.
So they basically, in this new software, they can categorize 4 features. 1, essentials, creative, portrait, and professionals.
Okay.
So under essential, you can see there's light, where you control all the white balance, exposures. They have something called smart contrast. It's pretty good. It won't make your picture too hard. Highlight, shadow, and then you go advanced setting. You got a curve and all that. Of course, They give you all that.
That's a lot of retouching tools, if you ask me.
And
That's
then there's
quite big.
AI. Okay, so
Yep.
basically AI does all that up there in the light. So if I go this, you see basically it's just picking what needs to be done. Contrast, brightness, color.
Oh,
whatnot.
you can have like a gradual AI. It's not like a one AI, that's it. But you can gradually fade in and out how much of the AI effect you want.
So there's cool thing about something. I think Lightroom had that too. Let's say if I want to enhance the background more, right? But you see how it is still AI, but you see how the skin got more orangey.
Of course, you applied it to the whole picture.
Always have a mesh and brush it out.
Oh yeah. I mean that's
like that.
Exactly. That's kind of what I do in Lightroom too. But it's cool that it's all
so
in this
basically
interface.
Simple, really easy to use, right?
Yep.
Now, but we're not playing with that. We're playing with something even far more interesting. So we go down
I'm impressed
to
already.
creative.
The AI looks great.
Let's go to creative, and we go into AI sky replacement. All right.
It is called Skylum. There's got to be some sky in there.
So basically, there are options. They have built-in sky for you to choose from. At the same time, you can download more new sky from their website, or if you have your own sky picture, you can upload that too.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
So for example, for this, let's change it to a bam.
Holy, what? That's crazy. You didn't even need to mask out anything. It just picks out the sky. It literally knew what like part of it is. It's crazy because even your mountains in the background, right behind the bride, there's gradients to it. It doesn't get confused what part is the sky and what part is the mountains.
See?
That's incredible. And it also applied a gradient on them too to make it even more believable.
Yeah, so this is the relight scenes. You see right here, this tab?
Oh.
Basically, it helps using the sky's color to white your foreground scenes. So I could turn it off and it's be more clear.
Yeah, so that doesn't look good.
This is one thing that a lot of people don't do while they replace sky is the sky color and your foreground color has to match.
It should, realistically,
and they thought about that for you.
Yeah. And it's so efficient and fast because I can see where, like when you took the relight scene down to 0, it looks Photoshop. It looks unbelievable. But when you actually brought in some of the color from the sky into the picture, it completes it. It just makes it look like I'm done. This is a great retouch.
The other way if you want.
Yep.
Or you feel this guy is not too believable, you can always change to something else, you know. Boom.
That's a little bit too much for this picture.
That's too much.
Whoa! Well, you can go pretty crazy, but that looks nice. I love that.
Looks nice, right? It basically brings in a little bit warmness into the foreground too, so it looks more believable.
Wait! I think I saw an airplane. Wait, hang on. Did they add an airplane in there?
Yeah, they try to be crazy about it.
That's pretty goofy, but it's so great. I love this. Like
so you see how like some of those, because of each picture is different. You see someone right here got edges, right? So they have a closing edge. You can adjust it so that it looks more perfect.
Yes, man, this tool would. Not only will it save me a lot of time, it will allow me to do this type of work normally I wouldn't touch just because number 1, I don't have the time, and number 2, I don't have the skill set.
Oh, they add this in the new 4.2 atmosphere haze. So up here with the white relight screen, you see how it basically relight the foreground. But atmosphere haze basically tune down your cloud back to where the foreground is, so you can have the white balance.
Oh, it's like the opposite effect.
Yeah, you can tune the temperature of the sky, make it more sunset, make it bright on the sky, darker in the sky, however you like it.
And all these tools that you use, this is to me not retouching, like in the traditional sense. This is like clicking on the sky.
When I first played with this, man, it saved me a lot of time.
Yeah, this could make me as good as you by just using these sliders and
when you
basically
put a picture out there. Nowadays, well, not nowadays, but all day long, is the sky. You have a dramatic sky, that picture become amazing already, no matter what, right?
That's whenever I go to like a photo shoot and we have an amazing sunset, it's like this photo shoot, you can't go wrong, right?
I mean, look at this.
Any picture you take.
This is straight out of JPEG, right? Just like that.
Yeah.
It's clean.
Right.
It's clean. But the sky's
looks
all
all
blown
right.
out. And now you
Yes.
got this.
That just transforms like a mediocre picture to like a perfect high-end professional wedding photography picture.
Right?
That looks really good. That looks really good, man.
So let me apply that and just call it done.
So now it saves it as a JPEG.
It will export out to it as the layers.
As a layer, so you're still not destructive.
It is.
And
Actually, I forgot to create an extra layer, but you know,
Oh,
that's what it is.
but okay, so normally it would create another layer.
Yep, normally it would. I just forgot
Because
about
if you have another layer, then you can like even mask out the people more, or you can have some
exactly.
graduation.
So I can get more done with it.
Radiation.
I'm here just well for this. I just want to quickly show you the sky replacement, which I think looks pretty damn amazing.
Well, you didn't keep your promise of one click, but you did demonstrate an amazing
it is one
ability.
click. If I go up here and go here and one click.
Yeah, one click to open the software. But still, I give you a lot of props because I give Skylum and Luminar 4 a lot of props because this is a tool that I think a lot of photographers will really love because there's a lot of tools out there that are gimmicky and they'll say they'll do certain things, but you have to have the right picture to make it work. This, I can see it work in so many different variety because of the AI. It doesn't need a picture to be exactly the way that the software is designed to work about. It can pick any picture and crop out the sky and really do its magic. So
it's not using
it's a great
kind of route. It's using AI calculate, so it works with a lot of different variety of pictures. Right.
Like I know some software development. So when you tell me about AI and machine learning and all that, it makes a lot of sense. And I can see how it's so applicable to this. And I'm surprised no one's done it before.
That's why I'm like even more selling on an idea of it's not the technique because in camera techniques, the camera itself help you take care of it. In post-processing, look at Skylum, it's doing AI, take care of it. It becomes your creative and your concept of what you want to put out on the pictures. That's the most important thing being a photographer now.
Right. So now it's like, do you want the blue sky or do you want the sunset sky? What does the bride and groom want to go for? What's more believable? Yeah. So now you have the time now to be a creative professional instead of doing the grunt work. So this is great.
So okay, moving on. Where was I? Right here.
Back into the presentation. I think we were at the pros and cons of Skylum.
See.
There you go. Right there. Yep. The pro, the pro con. Yep.
Okay. So that's before and after.
Yeah.
See again.
That's a different picture. Huh? That's a little different picture than the one you demoed on, but very similar, right?
Yeah, similar. It's the same set of photo, but in a different location. But you can see that the sunset got onto the C2. See how they relight it? Yes,
the relighting is really cool. And the fact that it is literally one click because you just pick the sky and it automatically figured out a relight for you. So
well, basically really we serve the setting that I done in the last pictures.
Oh, okay.
So, but most of the time when you adjust where, all the gap where the photo is and the relighting, most pictures are similar. If you're the same photographer, most of the time it's similar. So basically we use just small minor adjustment and you're good.
I guess it would depend on like your depth of field too, because the edges might be more or less defined too.
But that's why they have the defocus option that you could defocus the sky a little bit.
So it blends in with the blurriness of your shallow depth of field. Or in your case, because I know your photography is very sharp, so that's why you like the sharp sky. It matches the sharp
this picture I'm shooting, like you can tell it's sharp here, it's sharp in this boat, it's sharp in the mountain. So basically the sky should be sharp too. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like F10
what is this,
or something.
Like F16? Yeah.
Something like that. I forgot.
That's pretty cool. Very nice.
Okay. So the first software I use is called Snap Art 4. I solely use it to turn my image into a painting.
That's what we didn't touch on yet because you talked about the basic Photoshop, the masking and all that. You talked about the sky replacement, but this is the part where you make it turn into the paintings of those pictures we saw much earlier, right? Okay, cool.
So that's the software. So all it does is you have a choice of choosing how all this different style of art you want to turn your photo into, and you got just
right.
So
yeah, this is similar to Luminar 4, where it's a plugin to Photoshop, or
yeah, it is a plugin. It could be a standalone program as well.
Okay, and also a Lightroom plugin as well.
A lot of software nowadays they are standalone, but at the same time they build into Photoshop because Photoshop become the mainstream of everything.
Okay, but how about Lightroom? Does it have like where you can right click and open it?
I haven't tried that with Lightroom yet. Maybe
okay.
can, maybe couldn't. But like I said,
fair
I don't
enough.
Lightroom
but at
much.
least Photoshop and standalone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool, very cool.
So that's the original image.
Yep.
Create oil painting.
Yep.
That's after.
Wow, that looks really, really cool.
Oh, nope, this one. Yeah, my finger went too fast. So the software is pretty easy to use. It's under Alien Skin. Step 4.
Alien Skin. So the company is called Alien Skin, and it's called.
I think they changed the name now. They changed the name to Exposure now.
Oh, Exposure. Okay, I like Snap Art a little better because it's not really exposure you're changing. You're making it a painting. You're making it artistic.
So you can play around with it. Most of the time I use oil painting, but they also have watercolor, right?
Yep.
And then they have crayon. I never use crayon. I don't know how to use crayon. That's like a first grade picture.
That's your kid pretty soon.
Oh,
painting you and your wife.
And then there's a pinker.
Oh, that looks so cool. Almost looks like it's raining.
Yeah, but most of the time I just use oil paint and stay with this. So the way to play around with this is that you could play around with the brush sizes. So all these options can change. It depends on which style you use. So oil painting is about the paint brush, and then photorealism is how real you want a photo to be, more like a painting, see more detail or less detail.
Yep. Oh, nice. Very cool.
Right. Thickness is how much you put the paint onto the canvas.
Mm-hmm. Like the thickness of the paintbrush, right?
So it affects a little bit on the thickness. So if I go all the way to say 0, you see how some of those sparking, which is there's no ink on the canvas, become white.
Yep.
So if you want like really like oil painting light, you can get that too.
Yep.
In this case, I want to cover up as much as I can. So and then the stroke length is how long each single brush lasts.
Right. Like it's a style of how they brush it. Oh, very cool.
And the coloration is actually some of those paint. You see how it adds different colors in there?
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah. Yeah, it did. It just makes it more like when you paint and you have to mix colors together and your brushes have like the dominant paint colors when you're mixing it. It's perfect. It's really realistic.
So at some point that if you have no idea what you're trying to do, you could do a random brush and let them pick for you.
Well, sometimes you want some different variety too. You just click it a couple of times and gives you some ideas.
So I probably don't put too much there.
Yeah.
So in this case, there's kind of muddiness into the faces, right? So the cool thing about this, you can also create mask the subject out, so they won't look too messy. And in the mask, you could readjust their setting and say, I want more photorealism, smaller brush, less paint, less and less. So that area that I mask will become more photo than a painting. See?
So that's pretty awesome. But I noticed you just kind of mask them like really quick. Is that normally how you would do your work too, or you're just doing it really quick for the demo?
Yeah, the one thing about when I do fine art style, I don't have to have clean mask because it's all random. The more messier, the better. You want some of the texture kind of get in and out of the subject's edges.
Oh, that makes sense. Because that's art, right? That gives it the
if
natural randomness. If it's too clean
looking, it will look kind of fake and not authentic.
Oh, saves you time and looks better.
Yeah.
Win-win. Very cool. Love it.
So this is Lemma 4. That's how before I have this software, I have to go in Photoshop and apply a different texture onto the image to make that look. That's
Yes.
how you saw, back in that triangle guy picture. Is how many texture I have on there.
Yeah.
Now
I
only
remember
one layer.
your layers.
With this.
Very cool. And then this one, you could also input your own texture, or you can import your own choice of texture.
The texture is down here.
Okay.
Preset.
Yep.
So I have some presets. I believe you can also, hold on. Nope, I think this is all a preset there is. But
okay, well they have a bunch. Plus, you can always go back to your old school if you have to have a texture. I can reapply texture
if I wanted to. So it's really personalized. Okay.
And texture.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no worries. And texture is pretty basic thing you can apply even in Photoshop, right? Because you just mask out your object and then put like a texture on, and then you can increase how deep the texture is or how light it is. So that's
not about that.
Yeah.
So, but then again, with all these tools, okay.
Yep.
Now you see the AI basically do everything.
That's really
One thing that us photographers have to learn is about color.
Always back to the primary basics.
Primary basic, because color is it controls emotions.
Yes.
I don't care how smart your AI is; it has no emotions. Only you do. So you have to control the colors and how your pictures affect your viewers' emotions. That's on you.
Right.
That's on photography.
They can't see the love in the picture, or they can't see the horror, or like the aggressiveness of the fighters, right?
Mm-hmm.
The AI can't figure it out, but this is where your artistic comes in. It's like, okay, I want to make this picture very romantic, or I want to make this picture look very scary, or I want to make this picture look intense. And those are the colors that you pick because that's how you portray your scene.
Okay. Before we go further, we have to clear on what is color corrections and color grading. They're different. Most people nowadays, I would say 99% people are doing is color correction, not color grading.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
I wonder which boat I fall in.
So this is a definition of both of this. Color correction is adjusting to correct problem with the photo. This can mean, basically under or overexposures, the color cast, and also white balance issues. Just fixing problems. Okay. That's why I call it correction. That's basically what
you do in Lightroom, pretty much.
Pretty much. Color grading is different. Color grading is more like putting artistic by using color into your photo. But you got a concept?
Yeah, I feel like I'm definitely more of the color correction just because that's all I do. I do the overexposed, underexposed correction. I do like the color cast, which is the white balance, or make it a little bit more magenta or more green. But I really don't do the more in-depth color grading, which is like the stuff that I've been seeing in some of your photos where you really just kind of have a more artistic look to the results. But I'm actually interested in seeing some examples to clarify my understanding.
So color corrections, right?
Right.
So this is me.
Hey, that's you.
So for some reason, if you put your camera in auto white balance, at some point when that sensor sends something else, it could change your white balance like crazy, right? So like that. But because of raw file, basically when you take a raw file, it contains all white balance and all exposure.
I love technology.
Right?
Raw. I never shoot on JPEG just because of that.
Or even though it doesn't have it in there, right? I can always adjust it using the white balance bar.
Yep.
Oops. And where's my pointer? There you go. So you can use the white balance bar, get it warmer, cooler, or using exposure, highlight. You fix that. That's easy. Right? That. So
and that in itself. But that's really what I do, and I think that's the minimal that a photographer has to do, and it just makes the photo much better already. Just getting it correctly white balance and fixing the exposure so it's perfect. So
I mean, this is a rare case. I mean, most of the time it will work, but sometimes at nighttime, let's say if you flash and you did not put a CTO gel on your flash, right? You got that really
CTO is color temperature orange, right?
And that's where you want to do the color correction and make sure that it looks like that. So straightforward, color correction.
That's all I do. So you've confirmed That's what I do in Lightroom, and that's all I do to all my photos.
Okay, color grading is a bit different. This is, well, a lot of people do it differently. This is how I use color gradings.
Okay.
I use it when I want to stand out my main subject from the background. Okay.
To add like a layer of separation.
Yeah, separations. And I want to create mood by using certain colors in the photo. Okay.
Right.
And I want to create personalized artistic photo style. That's how I use color grading. All right.
Fair enough. Yep.
Every time you want to use a function, do something, you gotta have a purpose, right? That's my purpose.
Right.
So for this, besides I'm a Street Fighter lover, even though I can't play anymore.
I am too. You know, we should get a round of Street Fighter 5 and let's do it out there.
I never played Street Fighter 5 before. I wish I could. I just
really
by myself. Like, I mean, I could buy myself a PC one and.
Yeah, you can get on stream and we can have a good fight. We'll have some fun.
We'll see if we have time.
All right.
But then again, we're in quarantine right now. We have a lot of time, so we'll see.
We have time.
I was thinking about buying a PS4, but then PS5 is coming out, so I don't know if I should really buy a PS4 right now.
Wait for the price to go down and buy the PS4 because it has Street Fighter 5 and that's all we care about.
Yeah, but Street Fighter 6 is coming out too.
Oh, well, yeah.
Anyway,
sure.
So, okay, back to this photo. Okay, this is a very good example because if you look at this background, it's so busy, so many colors, so many things going on, right? But you never lost the two main characters in the front.
No, you don't. And it's interesting because normally to get this kind of separation, I usually have to shoot shallow depth of field, so everything is blurred out. But here, your background is actually really sharp and it's vibrant in color. Yet you're right, I still can see the people, like the main fighters.
This is focus. All because the color luminosity of the subject and the backgrounds are different. That's created separation.
Oh, they're like more bolder colors, it looks like.
Do you know how I learned all this? Is when I start picking jobs for pre-wedding gigs, not wedding jobs.
Right.
Wedding job, you want to, because you have a lot of gas around, so you want to blur out and separate your bride from all this crazy environments. But in pre-wedding, it's totally different. Let's say if those pictures that I had before, when they go to Paris and they want to see the Eiffel Towers. If I shoot it with 85 or 200, yes, I bring the Eiffel Tower closer next to them.
Blown out.
But all blurry, right?
Yeah.
So, and then also, and this is what I learned. How do I get my subject more concentrate in the front that you can focus on while the background still see a lot of details, but not overpower the subject?
Yeah, because the background tells the story. You want the background to be in focus. Whether they're in France or in Paris, you want to see the landmark in clarity because
this is a painting style. You realize that this is a painting style. You look at all the oil painting, they'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
Busy, but their tone of the color are different, so they have the separation.
Oh, wow. That blows my mind. It's the color gradient, the color mood of the background.
Can have is it like a couple hundred, 256 different grade of red, right? So you have the brightest red compared to the most pastel red. When you put them together, which is more stand out? Of course, the bright red, right? Same thing over here. We have red in the back, right?
Right.
See, compared to this red,
right?
Different. It stands out.
Yes. Very interesting. Wow. Okay. Because before, I always thought the way you could separate the background is just make it blurry, but this is like a whole different category of separation is by colors. Not that the background is black and white and the people are color. Everything's in color, but it's the luminosity of the colors, right?
And the cool thing is, it's not that hard to do this. There's actually tools in Photoshop allow you to do this easy.
Really?
I'll show you
I never thought about anything like this. I never really knew what tool to seek out.
And then another reason for that is for color grading. In this case, is if you look at the left pictures, the background is more to the orangey and yellow, right?
Yes.
And you look at the right one, which I removed a bunch of yellow and orange. Can you tell the skin tone and the subject pops more?
Oh yeah, it definitely pops more on the right. And it's very subtle too. Like if you didn't tell me that you took away the orange, I wouldn't have noticed. But simply by the fact that just looking at the two pictures, the one on the right just looks like the people pop out just so much more, but the background is not like it's blurred out or defocused.
This is
It's
the
just as
universal
sharp.
rule, okay? If you look at most of my
Yeah.
pictures, for non-oil painting ones, mostly is that my background is always more to the cooler side.
Yes.
The reason is it doesn't matter that person's nationality and skin colors. It's always lean to the warm tone, and warm always stand out from the cold.
Right, because
if
warm is orange.
A warm and tone, cool color in the same pictures, human eyes see warm tone first before the cold tone. Yeah. So in this case, if I tune down the background to more cold tone, my subjects stand out because the skin tone is always warm. And that's one way to stand out the subject.
Yeah, the fact that our eyes are always drawn to orange is something new to me. I've always realized that blue and orange are good opposing colors in the color wheel. So they always stand out and they pop. So not only do they pop, but our eyes are naturally drawn towards the orange, which is the warmth of the skin as well. So, wow, that's so much information to take in by just looking at these two photos. And you really illustrate that point really clearly by just saying—
It's subtle, but it's there.
It's there, yeah. Very, very subtle, but it makes the picture, it pops to people. I like it.
And then for this, like I said, I did add color in the photo to create a mood.
Yep.
This case, it's just for example-wise. I mean, it by itself is pretty good already.
Yeah.
But then I add more blue into the dark area to create, because she's there by herself, I want to create a luminous of a feeling. And by adding that blue kind of cyanish blue into the dark area, it gives you that feel. Right,
it's the mood, the mood part of the color.
So the color is placed in motion. So here it looks quite grand, but then you can always change the emotion by just changing the color.
Yep, looks good. I mean, I like both pictures, but whatever mood you're portraying, that is what color grading can give you. I can see the effect, definitely.
This picture here, when I create, is pre-Luminar and pre-Snap Art 4.
Before Luminar
came out. In Photoshop creating the textures, it takes a long time to do.
So Luminar could do this with one click too? Like, this is not sky replacement. Like, how does Luminar do this?
Because Luminar, you can also apply textures, and they have different way to create texture in Luminars.
So we were talking about
it's better than Lightroom, because you cannot import anything and add any extra elements into Lightroom, but Luminar allows you to do that.
So we were trying to add texture with Snap Art earlier, but instead the tool to add texture would have been to use Luminar.
Either
instead.
Photoshop or Luminar. Well, Photoshop can do anything, but Luminar can do that too.
But Photoshop is it's too much for me. I want something that's a little bit more streamlined. And I think Luminar is a good tool to have. Snap Art is nice too, but I think if I had to choose between one software to buy, I would go for Luminar first, and if I have money, Snap Art second. But I think both of those tools.
Well, unless you want fine art, then you don't really need Snap Art. But Luminar is definitely worth it.
I think Luminar is really the key software that would take my photography to the next level with literally a few clicks of a button to get really high quality digital process photos that stand apart from the rest of the photographers out there. Just using that tool and a little creativity goes such a long way.
Oh yeah. It ease all the hard work and groundwork for you and just allow you to use the function to create. Yes. It actually, their slogan is release your creativities. That's exactly what it did.
It definitely does. It makes it easier so you can be creative. You still need to be creative because the AI, well, actually, you don't even need to be creative. You hit AI and it does a pretty good job already.
That's not right.
We'll let people be creative.
Yeah, but then again, it's a free world. You're allowed to do whatever, however you feel like.
I'm curious if I batch all my wedding pictures with just AI. I
am curious. I'll have to try that next time.
I will. I think it'll be interesting. Anyway, go on.
So this is another type of color grading. Yep. On the left side, this is the original image. You know, sunset hour, little bit slightly overexposed, but you still see a lot of warmness in it. But nowadays with the airy, dreamy, airy type, they like to remove the yellow and greenish. So it looks like that.
That's what it is.
and then the skin tone will be more like clear.
Yes.
So that's the type of color grading that nowadays a lot of wedding photographers are going for.
So what tool do you use to get this effect? Is that just like a preset in Lightroom? Yeah.
To be honest, personally, I hated this. But I never buy into
this?
any. Okay, so most of photographers use this. They are buying presets or actions.
Yeah.
One click behind that. Okay.
Yeah.
I never buy any actions or preset because I know I could create my own. I create my own on this. This is my own preset.
Is that a preset that you can maybe include a link below to that people can download and use?
Let me think about that. Maybe on the next video, not this one.
Okay, well, so teaser for you guys. We might have some presets, maybe free, maybe for sale. I don't know. Jeremy's a really generous guy, so I'm nudging him to give it out for free. We'll see.
Well, let me tell you the problem with this kind of style. For this one, I treat it a little bit different. You see how the detail of the dress on top on her is retained. Yep.
Yes.
If you purchase a lot of presets out there, one thing they really do is overexpose everything, especially on the white area. And when you have a bride wearing a white bridal dress, that's the white area. And you know how much some of those dresses are, like from 5,000 to 10,000 pieces of bridal dress. And basically, the reason why they worth so much because all these details in there, and the photographer blow them out. And the worst part of that is the bridal magazine support that.
It's trendy, right? The bridal magazine tailors towards what's trending. So do you think those details get blown out because of those presets, and because the presets don't have AI in that they just apply?
No, this is not AI. They just basically don't have the. It's like a global thing. You know, back then when I talk about global edit and area tweaking.
Right. It just applies it to the whole picture.
Yeah, applied to the whole pictures. So that's what happened.
Because again, AI is what allows them to select out like the sky, for example, and put relight on the part that's not sky and put texture on the sky. Versus global, you're just applying it to everything because there's no intelligence to pick out the person. Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
And then I kind of see some people play with it. I try. Like I said, I never purchased those presets or actions before. Yeah. I played with someone else's computer before and try to mask it back out where I get the detail back. But because they kind of detune the color, even if you mask it out, it does not look real. It looks fake. So there's no way getting back to it. The only way is forget the details.
That's the trend. Maybe because they couldn't figure it out, they just want to make it easy on them. And
I know the bridal shop that I'm working with, they like this kind of style. So this is a photo I took for them for their catalog. So that's what they want. So that's what they get.
Hey, well. In business, the client is always right. So if that's what they're looking for, you can educate them how much ever you want, but what they want is what they are willing to pay for. If you can deliver that, they'll pay you. So that's that, at the end, if it's a business relationship you want, you've got it.
Yeah,
Make them happy.
A man have to eat, right?
We all have to do that. But when you go to like WPPI, you talk to other photographers, there's a whole different discussion.
Would never win you anything.
Yeah.
This is not to them. This is not photography. When I judge, I was one to judge. This is like instant gone.
Ouch! That's your photo. You just snapped away.
I can tell you that 99% of judge when I see this, I don't see any detail on the dress. Sorry.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because this is wedding. This is wedding.
Yeah.
And then there is photography. I mean. The best thing is when you have wedding and photography together. But most of the time nowadays, people only got wedding and there's no photography behind it.
Yeah, well, it's a business and people's got to eat, right? So they make their client happy. They follow the trend. That works. It's a whole different boat. But the more important part is you, with the tools and your experience and what you're showing us today, people can accomplish what they want to. Like I can look at this picture now. I know if I detune the yellows, and do certain things with the highlights, I can get this result. Whereas before when I looked at the picture, I'm like, is this out of camera or is there some post-processing done? So we have the tools now, we have the knowledge, we can accomplish what we want.
Now, because I'm with Fuji, the reason I go with Fuji because Fuji can actually do this in camera now. They have film simulator can actually get this out in JPEG.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
So one thing that why I love the Fuji because for Fuji I start shooting JPEG now because their film simulator is just so great. The images come out in JPEG is far sharper than RAW, believe it or not.
What? Wow. And
So
are we talking like the
basically,
XT4?
if you're a wedding photographer and using shooting Fuji, you can get yourself a 64 gig and 128 gig card. You shoot everything in JPEG. At the end of the day, basically hand the SD card to your client. Here's your wedding picture, and then you're gone. You don't even process them.
That just saves so much time. I just increased my production values
With
way higher.
What you get live view, which is simulator in Fuji JPEG. Done. I mean,
and if you use LED lights, you don't have to worry
get like bad picture because if it's a bad picture, you won't click, right? If it's too dark, you won't click.
Except if there's flash, and you can't really predict your flash based on.
Come on, we're in California. Setting. I mean, they go for those like Napa and outdoor. I mean, why do we need flash?
Don't need flash. No flash. Unless you're trying to capture a bright background and they're in the shade, so you don't want to overexpose the background. You still need flash. Sometimes.
That depends. I mean, it's an option. I'm just saying that it's not an absolute. It's an option.
Right. And this color profile with the JPEG and the FujiFilm that I talk about, is that only on like the XT4 or does that apply to all the camera lines or only
I think they have it for all models.
All models like dating back or just forward?
What Fuji
is it like for
the films?
Yeah, but does that apply for the older cameras too, or only newer cameras coming out recently?
I think they have firmware upgrade for the older cameras.
What? They support their old cameras? That's a good company. Nice.
They are really focused on. You know that Fuji's photography department is not their main incomes, right?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
What else do they make?
So basically, they're making medicine. They are making the vaccine. They make a lot of money off that. So they're in pharmaceutical, but they also have their digital imaging department. And that's why they really, really focus on making the digital product one of the best. They are the one that come up with one of the best medium format camera, affordable medium format camera.
That's right. I heard about that. That's pretty impressive. I've never thought of a day where I can actually afford a medium format camera.
Like for the Sony A7R, is it 4? A7R4, it costs around like 4,000 something for full frame camera.
Yeah.
Fuji GFX 50 medium format only costs around 5,000 ish.
For medium format. Yeah, there's no comparison. Of course, if you go medium format, you gotta get better lenses to really take advantage of the extra information you're capturing. But that's a whole different topic.
You know how when Phase 1, Hasselblad, all those cameras, it costs over 10,000 ish or beyond?
Yes. Yeah.
Fuji is the one bringing medium format to affordable level.
Yes. Anyway, I am excited about that. Anyway, let's go on.
We'll talk about that later.
Sure.
So again, this is a personal style thing, like a vintage photo.
Yep.
So left is original.
Yep.
And I think you told me about this picture that you think that the left looks pretty more contrasty. Yes, at some point, if you glaze on the first glaze, contrast is stand up. But if you notice, you look at the picture longer, you realize that all this in the wall is actually stealing, and the stuff back there is stealing some attention away from the subject.
Oh, yes, it does.
And that's why I did what I did here. This is kind of like how the Street Fighter photo, remember the Street Fighter photo?
Yeah.
I ease all this contrast and badness in there, except for the subject.
Yes.
That's exactly what I did here.
After looking at it for a little while, then you really start to see how they pop out even more. And in a nice way. With the picture on the left, they do pop out, but they pop out, but at the same time, the background pops out too.
Yeah. If you look focus on it longer than 5 seconds, you were like, your eyes got wandering because there's so much going on.
Yeah, there's too much to focus on.
But here, you can still always focus on the guy and the girl.
Yep, and the color, like you said, adds to the mood too.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, of course, you could have like an 85. This is like I believe this is like a 55 1.4 or something, but you can always use an 85 and blur more out. But we talk about we inside a restaurant here. How far can you go to get this frame with 85?
You gotta move back quite a bit to get that frame.
Exactly. Sometimes you don't have the room for it.
No. Yeah, 50 makes more sense. You probably shot them with a 50. And then with the 50, you don't get that blurriness that you want as much. So I can see how color adds a separation that you need.
So if you know this kind of trick, it saves you money on buying those expensive per depth of field lens too.
Yes and no. I still like the natural blurriness, but this is an extra tool to have under my belt.
Well, this is only applied to me because when I started, I'm a poor photographer. I don't have a lot of money to buy lenses, so I had to find ways to make my photo work without those so-called expensive portrait lenses.
Like I say, I always see your struggles help you to make you a better photographer. So this is like one example right there.
I remember back when I was in school for graphic design, one of the instructors did said that your creative comes out when your resources is dry.
Yes.
Because you have to be creative, otherwise nothing will work.
Yeah.
You have too much going on there, you will be spoiled.
Yes. Yeah. You go for the automatic. Whatever looks good automatic, I'll do that. I can see that.
Okay. So this is one question that people ask me about, like, okay, now I get it. I gotta work with colors.
Right.
But where do I start, right? So one thing I think one of the key things you learn is complementary colors. This is something that
back to the basic.
Like I said earlier, orange and blue always work together well, right?
Right.
Now they have tools that help you understand that. You can study that. Okay, let's take an example here. This is Joker, the movie. Okay.
Yes.
If you go on any photography site, they always talk about how great they use the color in every single scene in this movie.
Yes.
So let's break it down. This is all the color there is in this in this scene, right?
Right.
Right. The clothing, the color, the lighting, the gradient, everything. Now, this is the color picked directly out from this picture, from the scene.
Yep.
If we go in Photoshop, they have a function called Adobe Color Theme.
Wow, I never knew that.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. You go in Photoshop, you go under, I'll show you later. I mean, I forgot which one. But either way, anyway, you go in there and you choose the function called complementary. You see how this 5 color comes out? Let's say if I pick this one color, which is the jacket of the Joker's jacket, it will come with this color. That's it. It works well with those colors.
Oh,
so if you look
this
at
is so good.
Right? It kind of give you a starting point. What color, what color? It would kind of give you ideas.
This is actually what I needed exactly yesterday. I was working on a logo design yesterday, and I was trying to see what colors work with this palette. I wanted to use 4 different colors in my logo, and I had to constantly go to like a different website and Google like color palettes with green, color palettes with purple. But this, I can just do a color picker, and it gives me my color palette. And it's right in the same software. This is pretty cool.
Well, if you don't have Photoshop, you can always go to this website here. They also have color wheel that works the same.
Right. And then the difference between this and what I was trying to do yesterday is that you can pick your starting color and they'll give you your other colors. Whereas before, I was looking at a collection of palettes. I couldn't really pick which one was my starting color. I just had to pick which palette I want. Right? And I'm stuck with one of those 4 colors. Whereas this, you have a starting color you pick, and they'll give you the other colors that look good together.
So I would suggest if you want to learn about color, this is a really good start.
Very cool. Good stuff.
But
good resources.
You don't look too much into it because color science itself is a whole different subject that it could be like a whole BS degree on its own. Okay. So I was a BA degree, not BS. Bachelor of Art. Okay. But so just kind of learn the concept, just go with it, go with your own emotional stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this is all really good stuff. But for me, my takeaway after this session we're having here, I'm just gonna get Skyloom Luminar 4 and SnapArt. Probably start with Skyloom and just start using the AIs and the replacement of the sky and using some texture. I think that'll push my photography already to the next level. This is stuff I'm putting in the back of my head for once I get comfortable with those tools. I can go more in depth with like understanding colors, like adjusting the little bits here and there, and adding to my palettes of color. But all really good information for sure.
All this here is just more like a mind opener. It's not, I'm not telling you to go deep into learn every single aspect into it, but it kind of open your mind from that box, because all this technology sometimes it trap you in a box. I just want you to open it up and see, oh, okay, what's out there?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more to it. So AI can't replace you yet, Jeremy. You still have the ability to control the mood. I'm waiting for that.
Touch pictures for a while. Okay. Yep. Okay. I got this question asked all the time in Photoshop, mostly. Like, remember I said earlier, you don't have to learn everything in Photoshop. This is most of the stuff I use to do my retouching. So I use mask.
Like a handful of stuff.
Yeah. Yep. It's not a lot. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like only 6 weeks to learn. How hard is that, right?
Yeah. Oh, a little bit more than a handful.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, AI sky replacement, you don't have to learn. Just
that's Luminar. That's not even Photoshop.
I didn't say Photoshop. I said retouching
these are the tools.
So I use mask.
Where's your snap art?
That's not one of them. That's something else. That's like a whole different level thing.
And extra stuff. Okay. Yeah. This is your tool belt of the most used tools.
Well, the snap art thing is mostly my own style, which is oil painting style. It doesn't apply to everybody. The sky, it does apply to everybody. So
the sky is, I can see that's so valuable right away. That's the one piece of software I want to buy right after this call right now.
So this is what I do all the time. Mask, level, and curve. The AI sky replacement, okay? Selective color, this is something I'll talk about more. Black and white control, color control. Okay, black and white color control. Sounds interesting?
It's a paradox. What are you talking about?
Sure, yeah. And blending mode of layers. Okay, this is the things that I use during post-processing. Okay.
The only blending mode of layers I know starts with an N, and it's called normal. That's all I know how to use.
Well, okay. Just to be clear, I know most people know what mask is, but to be clear, a mask is, imagine you have a transparency of paper on top of your image that you could draw on to hide something from below, okay?
Yeah.
And in Photoshop, you can do multiple of layers. So that's what mask is. That's what allows me to build a different effect and selective area to fine tune the trick, okay?
Yep.
A lot of people use it for clipping out stuff, removing background and such. That's was also a mask too.
Right.
This is my messy mask. Just to kind of do some high dodge and burn here. So that area here is basically you see where the face and arm is, and try to brighten it up a little bit. That's what that is.
Yep.
And if you go into a quick, I think it's a quick something more. I forgot the turn of it, but you could see your mask in this area by clicking I think Z or G.
The bracket,
the little bracket with a circle in it under the toolbar. You can see this. Yeah. Okay. Now then, with mask, it comes with two things that you need to know about. One is the global edit, and then the other is selective area tweaking. Okay.
Yep.
Global edit is more like, this is open in Camera Raw. And same thing as in Lightroom. That's global edit. Whatever you do, that affects
the whole picture.
Overall. That's global edit.
That makes sense. Okay. Global, the whole thing. It's kind of like what I do in Lightroom. It's just global. I can't select anything.
Now, if you apply that and you put a mask on top of it and just open up certain part, that become the selective area tweaking, which is this.
Yep.
So you could basically
I want
to fix the eyeball, and I just mask all that out and just eyeball have that.
Yes. Yeah. So like in Lightroom, you definitely can't do that. You can use a brush and brush certain things onto certain things, but you can't selectively apply effect to a mask. Mm-hmm. Definitely a level up in terms of what Lightroom can do.
Also, have you realized if you use mask in Lightroom, it's gonna lag your machine like crazy?
Yeah, it does. Oh my gosh, it does. It does.
That's why you start adding in Lightroom. I always.
It's not really called mask. It's like brushes. You keep doing brushes, and it creates a layer by brushing. But like,
I feel like it's a capitalism thing, man. I'm telling you, the whole Lightroom thing is okay. We have this cool function in mask, but in order for you to use mask, you gotta pay more, buy yourself a much more powerful computer before you can use it.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. But again, the stuff when we talked about the Luminar 4 and the Snap Art, they have their version mask already. When you apply the texture in Snap Art, or when you apply the sky, that you can mask off the relighting.
If you look at all the software, even Lightroom had mask, Luminar had mask,
Yes.
Snap Art 4 and mask. You realize that
Yes.
mask is become a more crucial tool when it comes to creating.
Sure.
Every software
I agree.
mask.
Yes.
You must learn how to mask in order to able to create something out from this. How to alternate, how to replace pixels. You need to know mask. It's a must.
It's selective area tweaking.
If you only see one software has it, it's fine. But when you see all software has it, you know it's a must, right?
It's a trend. It's a trend in a good way, because that's where technology allows us to manipulate the photo and control what we want to control.
And then level is pretty straightforward.
Yep.
It's basically control of your histogram. It has the black point,
histogram,
the gray point, and the white point. Now, it also has channels. You can do a lot of wonder with it. But this whole thing here is also a global adjustment, but you always apply mask on top of it.
Very much so.
Now, a lot of people ask how I use it, and basically I use it very stupidly. If you look at this histogram here, so the black point and the histogram has this gap.
Yes.
Right here, you see it?
Yep.
That gap meaning that there is no, okay, so total from, you look at the number, the total number of this gradient, histogram is 0 to 255.
Right.
So you have 255 data is in there, but there is no data in between.
Right.
Meaning some of them you wasted. Because back in, I think if you learn to shoot with histogram, it will teach you how to shoot like Instagram that looks really balanced, right?
Yeah.
Get well
a histogram
exposed pictures.
A histogram that's balanced is what you want to go for. I never could get it because either the sky blows it out or my shadow is too dark. I could never get a perfect histogram ever.
With digital,
anyway.
you can fix it in digital. So by looking at this histogram, because a lot of photographers, seasonal photographers and pros, by looking at histogram, they know how your picture looks like. For example, I don't even need to look at the picture. Right now, I know that there's not enough black in this picture, meaning the contrast of the picture is less.
Yes.
And then there's always a little blowout, just a little bit, not a bunch, in somewhere in the photo. That's what I see by just looking at the histogram. So meaning that this picture the problem is it had less contrast. If I put this back here, then I could get the black back and make the contrast much pop.
Yes.
That's how you use level.
I've actually never done this before, but I guess subconsciously I do it with Lightroom because there's a bars that I slide.
I do that.
And I look at the picture. I look at the picture, the result, and then I adjust the contrast accordingly. But I don't look at the histogram. In fact, I don't think. Yeah, the only time I look at the histogram is if I'm blowing out the highlights or not.
You know, nowadays the so-called focus on the histogram to retouch or shoot is a little bit overrated because the style is all haywire. There's like overexposed style, underexposed style. So, just go with the stuff that you like. Shoot, especially now with the live view. See what you like, click what you like. I mean, learn all this, but don't trap by all these techniques. You know,
Agreed.
Let your mind go free, but know the techniques, but you don't have to apply the technique to every single.
Fair enough.
All right. The next is the curve, which is a more powerful version of a level. We're still dealing with histogram. Same thing, except you're on a line and you're playing with a lot of different things. You can control the brightness, the contrast, everything into a curve. Basically, curve is the master of everything. Same thing here. You can see how this histogram is the same histogram. The last one is missing here.
Right.
So if I put this black point go here, and my picture will go more contrasty.
Yes.
Now, this is the tool I use all the time. This is the tool I use to create all the Street Fighter look pictures with the faded colors. Because this tool, Selective Color, allows you to go into all these different colors from black, neutral, white, magenta, blue, cyan, green, yellow, and red, and go in each color to play around with.
So wait. You have colors and then colors of colors? What?
Okay, so you see the color here is black, yellow, magenta, and cyan. Okay, so you know about CMYK and RGB, right?
Yes.
They are the same relationship in a way.
Okay.
So let me go to the next one here. This is perfect.
That makes sense. So right now you pick black, but in the black, you're changing the cyans of the blacks and magentas.
So black is controlling how much black in this photo. So,
yes.
Okay. Now all this up there, yellow, magenta, and cyan also affect the black.
Yes.
You see the number here?
Yeah.
So I minus 44 yellow. I minus 36 magenta. That's a lot away from the black.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I increase the black to 29 to get that darker color. So what it does here is actually yellow. When I minus yellow, okay, I increase the cyan. So it's not something just a subtract something. So
right. It's yellow, a balance.
It's like a bar.
Yes.
Okay, cyan is this side, yellow is this side. If I move this way, less yellow, more cyan. Same thing goes to magenta, it become more green. Same thing in the cyan with much more magenta. Okay, same thing on that. So this is allow you, it's actually working with a pixel because the pixel, yes, you can go in 14,000% and just change the pixel's color. Do you know how much time that will take you?
It will take you an indefinite amount because you have so many pixels in this picture.
So instead, basically what they do is every single pixel color has a color range, right?
So you just select the color range.
Alternate the color of the pixels to create that.
Yep.
Okay. So rather than replace it, you just mess around with the range color and then get the different color that you want.
Right.
That's why
but I have a question because this is globally, right? Because you every time you make this change, it affects the whole picture.
No.
Like it
globally among all the black area.
Right. Yes, but all the black area. How about if you only want the black area behind the subject? I guess you can mask it, right?
You can mask it, but at least it helps a lot already. Before we don't have that, you got to go in saturation, minus saturation, the whole picture is saturated or desaturated and mask it up. But in this case, it helps you one level up is, it only affects the dark area. At least the bright area, the skin tone won't affect. Right?
Wow, this is such a powerful tool that I've never used. Again, it's only 6 tools that you really need to know, but I never bothered to learn this because there's so much to learn. I never thought I should learn this tool because this is actually applicable to photographers.
In a way, Lightroom had this too, but it's on the color with the saturation and the luminars and the hilt.
I never used it.
That one is too difficult to use because it's not isolated. It's a global adjustment thing. So when you mess around with it, it affects too much. So a lot of people shy away and not using it.
Yeah, and with wedding photography, at least for our style, I try to focus on natural skin tones. So if anything that changes the skin tones to something that doesn't look natural, automatically I throw it out because I don't have time to mask because I can't even mask.
Overexposed dreamy picture, the bridal picture with the green, the yellows are gone.
Yes.
This basically in green, just remove the yellow.
Yeah, you can definitely do it here. And then, but to bring it back in her, actually, in that picture where you took out the green and yellow, do you still need to do something with the skin, or you just leave it as is?
The skin is actually belong to yellow categories, so I will remove some yellow and brighten up the yellow so to get that look.
Okay, good to know.
I mean, it takes some time, but once you play around with, you know which color affect what color in the photos. It makes it easy. And the next biggest thing in Photoshop is the blending mode, baby.
Yeah. See the first one? That's the only one I use because I never understood why all these modes exist.
You don't need to do all of them, but just understand you can tell it has a line, right? So each category, this group of category affect darken. This group of category affect lighten. This is all affecting saturation. This is subtraction. This only affect color and not anything else.
Interesting.
So once you understand that, it'll be easier. And if you ever play with the filters on top of Photoshop, a lot of those filters is based on all this blending mode.
So that's how they accomplish it.
So
interesting.
In a way, if you know how to work it, you can actually use the blending mode with layers and not use the filters. You know why? You know how I learned that?
Nope. Because you didn't have those filters?
being poor, had slow computers. You know, back then when you try to run filters, you need a lot of juice.
And time, or just wait for it to render, right?
So I have to learn the alternate way how to run those filters manually to save juice.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned all those blending modes.
Wow. So how do these blending modes help you now? Like how are these helpful?
For when you're branding your skies into the background, you're branding the textures. When you brighten up your skins, when you want to darken certain area, the branding mode helps a lot.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I can understand what you're saying, but maybe in the next video we can do like a demonstration to really solidify that.
So this graph here basically explains more about what each of this category of branding mode does.
Okay, yeah. I think this is a good one for people to like just stop the video and take a screenshot of this, because this is very handy. You have different modes and like literally English definition of what they'll do. So very helpful.
Yep.
We'll have to touch on this in another video, like a demonstration.
Yeah, this is way too much to talk about.
I'm already overwhelmed. I don't know how much more information you're gonna pack in my head, but I'm learning a lot so far. And I'm so glad we recorded this, because I think people are gonna watch this multiple times. I'm gonna watch it multiple times because there's very good information here, and you're very generous to share all this information. And maybe one day an AI will do all this, but right now it hasn't been able to. So it's good to know you can.
Well, knowledge is meant to share. So
yeah, it is.
Okay, so talk about texture earlier, right?
Yes.
So this is one of the pictures that I have shot at way back, and believe it or not, this is my first award-winning picture.
Oh, with the after effect, not the way it looks right now, right?
This is straight on. Yep. This is my first award-winning pictures, and that's all done with texture.
It's all of this is a replacement texture, right?
Yeah.
Well, you also relighted her a little bit to blend with the texture, yes?
Well, back then it's called brushing. They don't have the technology relighting yet. This is like 10 years ago, okay?
Yeah. So you kind of like took a light faint orange and brushed on top of her.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, if you realize if her skin is still kind of bright, it doesn't match the background. Because when you actually have natural light, imagine that's actually a real wall, right? And you have light bouncing on that wall color will reflect on the subject as well.
Yeah, somehow, like back the other wall or the rest of the room or the ambience that lights that wall should light her the same way.
Yep. So, yeah. So that's why I fell in love with texture, because it gives me a lot. It helped me win a lot of award pictures back then, because it's different.
So with Luminar 4, you can do textures like this, right?
Yeah, you can.
And it comes preloaded with textures?
Preloaded, and you can also load your own texture as well.
So if you wanted to get texture, like where do you find textures?
Well, for this, I basically took random wall textures and then just put color on it and sometimes you can mix a couple different textures, blend them together, become a new textures. It's kind of your wall back there can be a texture itself.
Yes.
No, I know.
That's my green screen. But yes, if you lighten this or you emboss it, definitely I can see a texture. Very cool. But
I use texture a lot of different way too. This is some of the texture I have in my Photoshop texture files. I got a whole bunch. I got like a whole 3-4 gig of textures.
Wow. Very nice.
So like one thing I use is that at some point I'm kind of tired of, okay, let's say for the left picture here, there's the before pictures.
Yeah.
It's too bright and there's too much going on the corner, and it can't focus back to the subject, right? So a lot of time we will kind of put like a vignette, so to kind of focus people's eye into the subject.
I don't like vignette. It's cliche.
It is, because you think about it, vignette is actually a defect of photography.
Yeah, when your lens barrel distorts. Yeah,
it's your lens can't able to fit the model or whatever, and then
the sensor is too big. Yeah.
So it's
your sensor too big for your lens.
So we're using defect of photography to make art, which is okay, but too many people using it. It's become, like you said, touche, right? So I start doing texturized vignette, meaning using texture to dirty up and darken the bright area. So that because most of the time we do is dry, and the white dress is always stand out. It creates a fine art look, and as well it's different.
Yeah, I love it. That's a fantastic tip because I think I know vignetting, but I never use it because it doesn't look good. But you just created a whole new world of vignetting with texture. That's really cool. That's a small tip that I can remember to use when I want my subject to pop out more. I don't need to use a vignette, but I can use a vignetting control of the texture.
Because I'm always focused on two things when I create my photos. I mean, process my photo is storytelling and believable. When you have vignette really dark, that's not believable.
No.
But when you have a texture like this, for one, it can help you relate to, oh, this is vintage. Okay, it kind of tell it's a story, it's vintage, it's old.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's more even out. So it could be the dirt, it could be the old photo which has a lot of ruts into it. So it becomes more believable than a so-called dark vignette.
Yes. This is good. This is I love this. This is a tip that I will definitely use. If not, I'll have it in the back of my head for when I need this particular.
It's easy. Basically, you put a texture on top of this photo.
Yeah.
The blending mode I think I use is called soft light, and just use a mask and mask out the dress, make it not dirty, and that's it.
Easy, but the concept to think about it is it's genius.
Thank you. And then sometimes I use it for dirty look. This is like a dirty texture because this is like a apartment area in Paris, and it's old. Mm-hmm. You can't see it right now, but all this, the wallpapers, they're peeling off. They look dirty. The yellow, when wallpaper get old, it's kind of yellowish. Huh?
Yes.
So rather than fixing it or whatever, because it's you can't even call it vintage. It's just old and broken. So at that point,
it's not artistic old.
Yeah,
it's just
so rather than retouch it and make it look clean, I basically throw in a couple of texture to cover it up and make it even dirtier and get some feel in it. So it saved me a lot of time.
It looks great too.
Time saver.
Yeah, and a piece of art. It looks good.
Yeah, to the client is, but I know what I did, so I can't really consider it's just like a lazy trick.
The result is what speaks for itself. I love it.
Okay, and then sometimes if you look at this, the wall here basically was plain. And because there's too much going on here, like it takes 2/3 of the picture of this area. So I pretty much, for a texture, make it look interesting, so the picture will not be that boring. So sometimes
very cool. So you still have a lot of attention on the subject, but your background is not totally plain. I like it. It's a very different twist of using texture.
And this one is tricky. This is way back with this. Same thing with the other picture. I shot this with the Nikon D300, which is a crop sensor. You know that it's not full frame.
Yeah.
So back then the technology was not even that good.
Yes.
And this is like a dark church.
Oh.
So this area right here, this area where I'm circling around, and also back here.
Yeah.
When I open up in Photoshop, when I try to bring it, it's all messed up. It's all muddy because there's no information in it.
Yes. Especially with a crop sensor.
You open it up, you see the details, right? Back then with crop sensor, I'm pretty sure with my XT freeway now, when I take the same area, take the same picture, it's way better. But we were talking about 10 years ago's technology, okay?
Yes. For sure.
So this is all messed up.
So you've got some really muddy background.
Very muddy. You can see this part still muddy. Right there, you can't see nothing. It's like,
but it still looks pretty good.
On a digital platform right now, it's okay. But when you actually print this out, it looks like crap. It still looks like crap.
Oh, okay.
But what I did is actually, you can notice, I applied texture on the dark area. Okay. Yep. So the concept of that is that, okay, so this is the muddy layer of those stuff. I put a clean texture on top, blend it together. So I created brand new clean pixels. Yes. So the picture itself start having clean pixels. So when the printer, when I send a picture to the printer can able to render, because you know, the printer is not just easy. Okay, let me send this to printer and the printer, right? The printer itself has processing. It has to render it.
Yes.
So the render required to able to read every single pixels.
Yes.
Some if they can't read it, they guesstimate it. And that's where all the printing problem comes up when they have to guesstimate the pixels.
Because it looks muddy. You can see a gradient of the muddiness. So, disgusting.
By readjusting and putting new pixels in there, it allows the printer able to read it easier.
Yes.
And so I have a much, I wouldn't say perfect, but a much cleaner image.
Yeah, it's more defined. Like the pixel are deliberately like that versus like an uncontrollable gradient of mud.
Yep. Muddy meaning that the whole thing is like all black. And there's no, you know, if you go up, remember the first picture I showed, enlarged to 1400%? You see how every pixel is different, even though it's the same white color?
Yes.
But it has different color of white or gray in it.
Yes.
To represent that. So same thing goes here. When you are muddy, meaning there's nothing in there, it's all one color and just. Yes. So when I add texture in it, the texture color add onto that and create more different type of pixels in there and allow it to read better.
That makes sense. I mean, especially for the printing perspective, making sure you remove the muddiness by adding texture, that's also a very clever technique.
This I learned way back when I was working on a magazine, and I have to create proof for the magazine to print. And some of the picture back then are not that good, and this is one way we have to do that to make the picture printable. This is old tech.
Very cool.
Old tech. We talk about at least 20 years ago old tech. But nowadays, I don't think people face this kind of problem anymore. The sensor is so good.
Yeah, right. But it's good. It's good in case that someone took a picture of a dark room with an old cell phone and you need to fix it. This is good to have it behind your head. It's like, oh yeah, just put a texture on top of it. You renew the pixels with clean pixels and you can print it better. That's something I never thought about, but it's a very good tip for sure.
Yeah, people don't use this anymore, so move on. Okay, so a lot of people ask me what's the difference between being a photographer and a retoucher, right? Now, pretty straightforward. Being a photographer, you always look for the good stuff. You look for good composition. You look for good light. You look for good, clean backgrounds, right?
Yeah.
And then you click.
Yes.
That's what being a photographer is about. Look for good stuff.
When you have good stuff to work with.
Well, there's a lot of good stuff out there. You'll find something. That turn the photographer's eyes. That's what we all should have, right?
Yeah,
that's a good point right there.
Right, even in a dumpster, you can find the right lighting, the right angle, the right things to highlight. That look great.
Yep.
Yes.
So, but meaning if you start post-processing, you have to look for the bad stuff, what to fix, what to be better, right? Like, for example, composition error, lighting error, you have a busy and distracted background, color correction, like white balance off, whatever.
Yes.
And your building architect line is all crooked or shifted.
Oh, yes.
Right?
I know
and
about
your
that
subject's
very much.
body shape, sometimes it's not because they're bigger or whatever. It's just when you
or lens distortion.
The distortion, you gotta fix that. And overexposed highlight, right? And then there's no detail in the shadow, it's all pitch black, right? You gotta bring it back out. And also the framing, so we would crop.
Yeah.
So stuff like that. We look for those kind of stuff. So
all these things will help make the photo a lot better.
Make a bad picture or less good picture become good pictures. That's what we have to do.
Or an amazing picture.
So let's couple example here, okay?
All right.
This is another pre-wedding photo shoot we did in Florence, Italy. This is one of the church at the top of the mountains, okay?
You're right.
My goal was to able to capture more churches with the couple walking, like a storytelling part. But if you look at down here, this is the steps. So this is that's the platform. Okay.
Yep.
Back then I do not own a 7200, or actually I do, but I don't bring it because in order for my vision to work, it has to either be on 90 millimeters from far away or to get the straight line of the building and the couple. Unless I could defy gravity and flow on the sky and go back. And
you have to be very far back. You have to be very far back with a really long focal length to get the column straight. This is a hard
there's no way I could do that, right? There's a stair.
You're already in the street. You're already in the street.
So I'm like the third stair and having like a 24 millimeters. This is the widest I can get.
Oh, there's a stairs too. So you have to actually go back and fly up too. You can't just go back because it steps down.
Mhm.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's a difficult situation. So
That's an
in this
impossible
problem,
situation.
so back to the finding the best of project is that
Right.
composition error obviously is all
Yeah.
bad here.
Yes.
Building architecture line, it's all messed up.
Yep.
And overexposed highlight. Look at the dress. This is like
Yeah.
noonday. So
Yeah. It's really
but
bright.
we already know that. So that's why we tell the couple, can you look back where the sun is? So at least the light, the highlights on the face and the shadows back here. So at least that's correct, right?
Yes.
Imagine if they keep walking that way.
Right.
The face will be dark.
Yes.
Worse.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
bring this back home. This is probably one of the good image in this area. Well,
Right.
image. So a little
Yep.
tinkling here and there, and then I got it back to like this.
Wow, that looks so different, and it looks amazing. You turned the previous picture into this.
Yeah.
That's really good.
So all the line is straight.
that is
Exposure
amazing.
right is all fixed.
Yes.
And the framing is just nailed it.
Wow. Wait. So how did you do that? Like, what tools did you have to use to make all that happen?
Well, first thing first, right here, because I have enough information right here.
Right.
So if you go into raw converter, you need to fix all the lines, right?
I did not know that.
So you can shift the picture the way, basically shift every single pixel according to the line.
Oh, wow. I never knew you could do that.
It's a straight line.
That's pretty cool.
That's the most difficult thing on this is basically fixing that. Other than that, the exposure, all that, and the color tone, and add a little texture on top of it, make it look vintage.
Yes.
Done.
Yeah, like if you didn't tell me that these two were the same picture, I would have never believed you. I would say, yeah, it's the same day, but different lens, different perspective, totally.
I have people challenge me on this, say that I'm a bad photographer. Well, try do this. I mean, if the client wants this picture, right?
Right.
And you have a situation right here where the step is, and there's no way you could get in camera correctly.
Right.
What else are you gonna do?
You can't. There's nothing you can do. You have to get a drone and fly back and shoot it.
Well, now you can with a drone, yes.
Yeah.
this is back then, dude. We had no drone. Unless I can fly.
Plus, you don't want to carry a drone. It's just more equipment.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know how to do post processing and you know what you can do with it, then your vision is totally different when you come to this shop.
Remember you asked me earlier how I avoid all this shooting in a public area and all these problems. Nowadays,
security is difficult.
If let's say if the client wants this and they want the end result like that, they will probably have a drone back there.
Yeah.
That means when you're walking around in Italy, you will carry at least 2 cases of stuffing, right? Carry a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And you don't think the police there will try to, hey, how come this Chinese guy in Italy carrying all this type of equipment? What is he doing here?
Or what is in these luggages, right? They'll be curious.
So a lot of photographers only care about what gear to use to capture that vision. They never understand the country's culture, the law, and the reality.
Right. Can you even fly a drone in that area, or you get flagged or put in jail or arrested right away? You don't even know.
That's why, not that I'm trying to hard sell post-processing, but it helps.
I mean, but look at that. This is $1 million, and you can't easily get this without post-processing. You cannot get it without post-processing. No. It's just
you gotta wait for at least you have to wait for the white amount of the sun comes in.
Yeah.
And grooming the cloud is kind of diffusing the sunlight. You gotta wait the natural world to do their things, but that never really happened.
Right. I mean, this is the most amazing before and after I've seen. And how long did it take you to post-process this one? It
doesn't take that long. I mean, only thing I do is straight up the line, fix exposure, the highlight, and get some shadow back in where the tuxedo is dark. Because once I straight line, all this sky thing is gone because it's straight up. That frame is gone. And I just have to do a little color and sharpen and apply texture. That's it.
That's amazing. That
but
just
the
looks so
ultimately is
good.
you have to understand where this picture's potential is in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, normally you
Yes.
would just junk this picture, right? You're like,
I would. Yeah, I would
right?
totally junk it.
But that's where actually doing this photo shoot, that's what I learned is sometimes I have to capture just to get the raw material. So when I get home,
Yes.
I can work with it. It's kind of like you go to the
But
supermarket, you buy yourself a steak,
yeah,
you have to grill it first.
yeah. But when you took this picture, did you already have the vision of how you're going to post-process it?
Yes, because I know I can fix the line.
Nice.
I know I could get back
That's
this
actually
frame. I know I could get back
yeah.
this frame for sure.
Wow, that's impressive. I guess once you do it enough, you understand what you can and cannot do.
Yep.
But to someone that doesn't retouch at all, like I would never had imagined this.
That's why there's a lot of
result that's
photographers who
possible.
only thought about shooting and getting right camera. But in
Right.
crucial situations, sometimes you just have to do things like this. And knowing
Yeah.
about the potential of post-processing, even though you don't do it yourself, but you know it, it helped you
Yeah.
to create. Because at a certain
Yes.
point, to be honest, photography is not just about setting up. Sometimes it's about spontaneous moment that you never
Right.
expected, and then it just happens.
Yes.
And if you know fully from pre-production to post-production, you know how everything goes together.
Right.
You grab those pictures.
You lose good opportunities for sure. I can see now that if I was in this situation, I would want to get this shot because then I could convert it to something that you have as a result.
I mean, nowadays people have a drone; they could get this shot easy now from just finding drone.
But like you said, if you want to bring a drone and if you could get through security, right? And if you can afford a drone, there's like 3 things. Whereas what you took, any photographer could take with a wide lens and understanding of post-processing.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Very cool. Okay. I love this. This is one of my favorite before and after photos. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I like it.
And then it's another story also in Florence. The couple want to have a picture which the dome is behind.
Yep.
When they told me that, I said, sure, no problem. And I didn't study. Right. They realized this dome is actually have to walk up, I think like 150 stairs up before he get this view.
150 stairs? Like this is floor 150?
No, forward, like.
150 steps. But how many levels is that? Like 50,
I forgot.
50 floors?
It's been a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot.
But it's not 150 floors.
Let's just say you do not want to carry your camera.
Yeah, okay, fine, fair enough. It's a very, very, very long travel up on foot.
So again, in this case, I don't bring any lighting because I am not going to carry all that junk up there walking upstairs. Just pick up a camera and walk. And assistant's down there waiting, right? Get up there and get a shoot done, right? So when I'm up there, I know for a fact that the couple want clear shot of the dome behind. So I expose it for perfect exposures too, right? But because it's deep inside, it's all darkened, but I know my camera. I know my dynamic range of my camera. I can bring those back. The only darn thing is the picture they show me, they don't have those fans in there.
Or the big pillar is coming in, but the big pillar is actually not the bad thing.
The big pillar is there. The big pillar is there.
The pillar,
for sure.
Yeah, the pillar looks good actually because it's part of the
like
architecture.
what?
It
doesn't look good.
Doesn't look good.
But this is one of the pictures they really, really, really want because I feel like I don't know they've fallen off in Florence or something like that. I forgot.
There's a story. Yeah.
So as promised, I have to deliver. So that's what I got.
Wow.
I have to remove all the fans and okay, if you look closely, some of those I have to basically I did not use comb. I actually draw back then.
Did you not have the comb tool? Or
I draw back, I paint color back into it.
But everything is so seamless. It blends so well. You would
That's
never
only one time
known.
I do this. Ever again, I would never do that again. It takes me, if I remember, it's 6 to 7 hours for just one image.
Wow. But what I'm impressed even more is how you brought back the shadow. But I guess that's easy for you because you know your camera. But the shadow is very impressive to me that you brought back all that detail with the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's all there.
the end
So,
result is amazing. I'm sure the couple loves this photo.
oh, they love it. They better love it.
67 hours. 67 hours. Oh my gosh. But
I
the
remember this
result
forever.
is,
I'm telling you, this is one of those. I remember I was so tired after this image. I was so tired because like I had to go in zoom in like 200-300%, just ping, 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 ping.
that's amazing. This
Because
is
it
it's
was
well
so
worth
close. The break of the dome is so close. There's no way I can use chrome stamp or whatnot to actually chrome it because it doesn't work. It doesn't look natural. So end up I had to draw it.
The clone tool sometimes works, sometimes very difficult. And I can see situations where all the bricks are so close together, you want them the right angle, the right alignment, it's hard.
So at some point, in some situations, doesn't matter how advanced all the tools are, you have to go back to old school.
67 hours of old school. Worth it though. Looks great.
And then the other one, which is one sort of shotgun shooting. It's one of those tour. You go into like a church. It's a tour. You're not supposed to photograph inside. But when I saw this,
everybody else,
like, this is actually a church, old church. And it would be cool that if they stand there, like pretend they're getting married, right?
Yeah.
So I just tell them to stand there, basically grab the shot, but then you see how they have this thing blocking in front?
Yes.
So if they're really getting married, there shouldn't be something blocking them, right? Because I want to create that story.
Yeah.
And the line's all gone. I try to capture, because the ceiling looks really amazing. I want to capture it, so it's a 24 millimeter for wheel.
Yeah.
Capture that.
That looks cool.
Get as much as I can, and then just free it up.
Wow.
And we move the pile and all of that. So that looks like they're actually getting married in church, like that.
Oh, and then the color gradient just gives it this really fresh mood.
Oh, that's the actual color how it looks inside a church.
Oh, it was just bad lighting
that's just bad lighting.
Okay.
Just bad lightings. But it look like that.
Good choice of recreation of the colors. It looks really good. All the artifacts are gone. Everything is straight and lined up. It looks great. Another fantastic.
I found that you have to straight up all the architect because human eye kind of enjoy this comfortness of straight and horizontal like level.
Yes.
Because that will give us comfort. When we look at a picture like this, I know a lot of photographers like to use wide angle and stretch. Yeah. To me, there's two things I don't like. One is I go for the oil painting. Like, you will never see a wide angle feature oil painting.
Nope.
Ever.
Nope.
Ever.
Nope.
And then second is with the wide angle, it's not stable. I don't feel the comfort or ease to watch the picture. I feel like it's kind of, there's something odd about it. Yeah. But when you see something which is all level up, it just feels safe and it's comfortable.
Yeah, that's really, really safe, comfortable, and nice. I like it.
I try to explain this to a lot of people, but
it has to do with the perception of what works for them. I agree with you 100% because I'm an engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer background too. So I love the straight lines, the perpendicular. Like when I design logos and stuff, those are things I look for too. But maybe other people have different perspective. Maybe other photographers have different perspective, what other clients do. But I like this.
I talked to a few of them and they get that point. They want that wow effect of the wide angle because it's real.
Yes.
But they fail to realize that, yes, you have the surreal moment for that one time. When a person look at your picture the second time, the third time, fourth time, it become you don't have that first wow factor. I mean, if we realize a function of photo is to be long lasting, then you know what tool to pick and you know what style to go for.
Yep.
And then here is one of the ugly ones. Ooh. We try to do those editorial type look. Okay.
Yep.
Really. The client like, oh my God, look at this tub. I love it. Can we do something here? Well, you can't really say no to client, right?
Yeah.
Even though say, look at all this circle. I'm circling all the bad stuff going on. I was like, how am I distracted?
All those things are just sticking out as sore thumbs to me because it's very bright and her dress is very dark too.
Yep. I mean, when you look at the texture and the background, all that, it's kind of working with the dress, but it's not obvious enough. We do more of it. So after a little fuzzing around in Photoshop here and there, and
wow.
the trick is that I can't really turn the tub darker because that's, I mean, look at this area.
It's a white tub.
So rather than fixing the tub, I think, how about if I expand the dress? So I make the dress bigger.
That's pretty cool. And it's very believable. Like if you didn't show me the before picture, I would believe this is how the dress looks.
So cover as much as I can.
Yeah, and you remove out the little details like the handles and the little candlesticks on the side, or I don't know what it was that's bothered me on the lower left, but it's gone now too. I mean, so it looks great.
This is still distracting, but that's not much.
It's part of it. No, I like that. I think that gives it something interesting to look at. It bounces off the light. It has some curvature.
The whole, you see how there's a work curtain?
Yes.
Imagine the whole thing cover up even its bright area.
Ooh, that would be nice.
But that's really
more time.
More time, and also it doesn't look as believable because the lighting won't
because you have
match.
The lighting has to be very different from the copy paste of the background. Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. But you did a great job. I think it turned out fantastic. I mean, all these examples are really good. I got a taste of how you use color gradients, how to use color, how do you do all the manipulation with the lights and everything to get these great pictures. But let's see a demo. Can you show me how you get these results? Like, can we do a demo with Photoshop?
Let me close this.
Cool. Let's check it out.
Okay, let me close that because I don't know how much juice my computer has.
5-year-old computer can still pump out some great photos.
Let's try this one.
Okay.
Try play with this one here. Okay. Let me duplicate a layer first.
Sure. Yeah, duplicate would be great so we can see before and after. So let's see. Let's put everything we learned together in one.
The first things I do, I will replace the sky. Let's do that. So I go into
Luminar 4
with the duplicate level.
Yes. AI sky replacement, my favorite tool.
I mean, it become addicted. It's just so much fun to play with it.
I would not leave a photo alone without having AI sky now. It's
now
like,
that you know how easy to replace the sky, right?
Yeah. Right.
So let's play around and see what works and what doesn't. Let's see what happened if I turn the sunset.
I'm curious. Oh, what? This one does it so good.
That actually looks pretty good. Hold on.
What am I? I'm always impressed.
So if I flip the sky.
Yeah.
I want something brighter. Don't you think you want something brighter?
Yeah, brighter would be good.
How about? No, don't like that one.
That looks good.
How about something even brighter? Okay, those are good because you see how you have to match. You can't just like randomly fold something together. You still highlight on the church, on her dress, on the arm. So you gotta pick something bright to make it believable. Oh, that one's pretty good.
Okay.
If I flip around, see. I like it this way.
Okay.
Good.
Artistic flair to it.
I like how the cloud is actually like kind of like going through the church top. It makes it believable and not replaced.
Yeah. And I like how even behind all those little leaves, AI sky replacement is able to mask it out.
Right here.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Like if I were to do this manually, I would not even try because there's just so much blue there. If I wanted to make it yellow, for example, I can't because there's always going to be some blue artifacts. But I saw when you made it the yellow sky, it also changed all the blue parts.
So when I'm just adjusting all this clothing gap and try to get as much as I can. I mean, there's still some fixing around here and there, but so far I think that looks pretty good. The only thing is missing is because of her bridal gown is too close to white and then it got up there. But that's easily masked, easy. Not a real problem.
Okay.
But I will go into AI and see what else it would do here. This is the AI tool I'm talking about.
Yep.
See, it basically tells me, okay, your photo need more contrast. I believe him because after contrast, you see how the whole
it
picture
looks better.
better. But
Yeah,
even the dress, but I
maybe
don't
too
like the
much.
skin tones. I don't like the
Yeah.
skin tones. You see how the skin tones? You know what? I think about it. I probably don't want this anymore because I know for the fact that the contrast I could build better when I'm in Photoshop. So I
Okay,
think the
fair
sky
enough.
replace is good enough. I'm gonna end it right there
Yes.
and just
Okay,
apply.
let's do that. So we know it needs more contrast because the AI contrast just looks better.
So it's
but
kind of help you
it
get like
did-
a skyline, like what
Yeah.
you need next. It's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
So go in here and fix something here real quick. Right there. So I create a mask, get a brush down the sides, and make sure the foreground color is black here.
Yep.
And just paint it out.
There we go. Bringing back the details in the dress because it was kind of sky.
Yeah, the cloud
parts,
got into
right?
it. So I think that's good.
Yep.
And I think this picture, the flash, actually did not sync. So what I can do is I do that, but I will mask it. So
that's the color. Is that the curvature for?
That's the curve. So I brighten up the curve.
Uh-huh.
And
so this is pretty advanced stuff for. So you just brighten it up with the curve. It is a mask, right?
See, it's like that.
Okay. Okay.
So you see how I don't do really quick, precise masking. You see how some of those that is out.
Yeah, the mask is not
Now,
perfect.
if you want, you can always get this mask more and go back in and fix it.
Yeah.
If you want, but
right.
Sometimes I just go double click on here and feather it out a little bit so it looks more believable. And
yeah, feathering is very natural.
Brighter and drop the capacity just a tad, so that way it blends in more. It doesn't look like I highlight it. It just looks natural.
No, it looks so good. It looks very natural and very smooth too.
Right?
Yep.
You can't tell. Yeah.
No, it looks so good.
So remember I told you a lot of time when we talked, that's how I created highlight shadow. This.
Yes.
It was flat.
Wow.
And now there is highlight and shadow.
Wow, that's so cool with lighting.
So that like
artificially
I have a flash on her already, or perfect lighting.
That before and after with the highlight and shadow just blows my mind. That's so cool. I never knew you could do that with Photoshop. I always thought you have to get flash lighting or lighting correct in person. This is just so cool. So cool.
Okay, so the next thing I do is I want to play around a little with the colors. So I always use either a vibrate to turn on. That looks pretty good. Damn, look at that.
Right.
But then I sometimes use saturation to push it up to see how far the color can go. But I rarely use it because it doesn't look good. So I would just go vibrate. That looks really good, just like that.
Yep.
Right. Blue sky, the skin just pop. Now.
Yep.
Green is okay. It didn't go like too because sometimes when you push the green too much, it looks huge.
Right.
Right now it's a little bit at the edge. I'll fix that later. But
it's got a lot of blue on her dress.
Yep. Do you see the problem I'm seeing too?
I'm seeing blue on her dress.
Exactly. So I'm gonna get out myself a saturation and go to blue. Yep. Drop it. Slide in as well.
Wow.
Drop it.
Oh wow. What?
Mask it out. Right? Inverse the mask and just brush this.
Paint it, brush it out. Wow.
So all this gone. All the blue is gone.
Yeah, so the blue now is highlighted in the sky, and then there's like blue in part of the architecture, but not in the dress. Very good.
Like that.
Yep.
So that's the blue with, that's no blue. So how crisp and clean that is.
That looks really good.
Now you know why sometimes I get like over 30 layers.
Yeah. You got different layers doing different things, but the before and after is shocking. The sky replacement is one big Wow. But then also like the way you manipulate the lighting is really good. And to like make sure that the contrast and the vibrance is there, but not changing the white of the dress. It's like, wow, everything comes together so well. I mean,
So
they're small little things, but they make big impacts.
So I'm going to go in a little bit in different color and play and see if I can adjust even more. So I think the dress can do a little bit. So I go into white and see if there's anything I can do. I'm going to bow in more.
So you're changing the
not much
black
white in the
level
dress.
in the
You
white.
see when I push the white, there's not much white in the dress. That tells me the dress is actually gray, not neutral.
Oh.
To brighten it up.
Yeah. Yep. Because if you touch the gray now, you affect the dress more than when you were trying to touch.
You don't want to touch the gray in color. It just kind of messes it up even more. So I probably brighten it just a tack like that. But at the same time, because there's so many gray in this photo, I have to mask it, inverse mask, and then print it again. So this is a redundant thing going on.
Oh, yeah. Only the dress. Very cool. Looks really good.
For bridal portraiture, there's two things. One is the skin tone. Second is the dress.
Yeah.
I brighten up the dress using selective colors. That way, imagine if I don't do this, okay? I go for a curve and just raise it up. I lose details.
Oh yeah, tons. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You lose all the details.
While doing this, I kept the detail, but I removed some of the gray.
More flash effect too. Like when you try to brighten the subject and everything else is dark. I always thought, how do people do that? But sometimes I can't even create that with lighting because light spills. But this, you make her pop with the exposure, but you control it so it doesn't flash.
I'm in full control in this.
Yeah. Whereas with flash, you can't control it unless you have like a snoot. But even a snoot, you have like light, weird light cutoffs here and there. It just doesn't really work.
Let's play a game here. Do you think the green actually affected by the green or the yellow or the trees?
The trees?
I tell you that I can only affect the trees in yellow, not green.
I would disagree.
I'm on green right now, okay? Let's see how much theirs is. Not very much.
Affecting it. Okay.
But yellow, there's majority yellow there.
Oh, okay. So, well, I guess you know better than I do. I realize there is some yellow in the green, but I didn't know.
You know how that whole airy, dreamy feel of the yellow? So look at this.
Yeah.
If I'm in yellow here and I minus yellow, see, that's what I get.
Yes.
See it?
Yep. Yeah.
So you want to go for that type of look, you can. But in this case, because there's a lot of sunlight on her and she's vibrant, if my trees become more dulled, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. No, I like the vibrant green. I think it just goes well.
And I might darken this guy just a tack. And the yellow.
That looks so good.
One more thing. Let me do one more on the yellow. You know what? Forget you. Okay.
Wow. This result
is one more thing because right now you can see that I separated, adjust some of the colors differently, right?
Yep.
So I'll do a Control Shift Alt E. So I have a full layer with all the adjustment on top. I mean under.
Oh, okay.
And
wait, how did you do that? Wait, how did you make a layer with everything?
Control Alt Shift E. In Mac, it should be Control Option Shift E.
Okay, interesting.
So 4 key together.
So it basically makes one layer that merges everything below it?
Yeah. So in here, and I go into the camera raw filters.
But this is a JPEG.
It doesn't matter. It's a filter.
What?
It basically applies all the camera raw stuff to whatever format you have.
Because it's just pixels still. You're just manipulating the pixels.
So I want to fix the skin because the reason I go in here, only in here has orange. Nowhere else. So make it easy. So I go into luminosity of orange and want to brighten up her skin a little bit. See that?
Oh, so you only touch her skin. You don't even need to mask the skin because her skin is orange.
No.
That's so cool.
So that's there. See, brighten up a little bit more.
Yep.
Sometimes just small stuff, when you
Wow.
add it together, it creates a lot.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Actually,
The
you
sky was a big thing, but the small little details
can
are
also
just as
sharpen here too
important.
if you want. It's a good sharpening
Sharpening?
because the sharpening here has mask.
Ooh,
So the
what?
white area is where it's going to get sharpened and not the black.
Yeah. Oh wow.
And remove some of the
Wow,
noise.
that's so cool. I never knew you could do that.
It's in Lightroom too. Lightroom has the same thing, same features. Now, depending on how you want to take it, we can take it really, really like fairy tale bright.
Too
You see
vibrant.
that?
Too vibrant. But the funny thing with vibrance is once you play with it, you can't really go back to like a normal perspective. You always want a little bit more vibrance. So like let's bump the vibrant up just a tad more because I like the vibrant look, but not too much. But these effects are looking good.
I make it
Wait,
more
what are you
fairy
doing
tale
now?
right now with that. Add a little warmness in there. It kind of feel the sun's on her. See?
Yep.
But
Well, how are you changing it so much? Are you doing like a color picker or what?
right here. So
You went back to default. Okay.
go back default. I basically raise the color a bit more, right? Just a tack.
Yep.
Zoom in a little more.
Yep.
And I am seeing that I want more texture because you see how the texture is bringing more of the dress detail up. So bring a little bit more.
Yep.
And then I bring highlight down, just the text. So the back, see the back of the dress right here?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was bringing it a little too much, so give it a little shadow so that contrast there.
Mm-hmm.
And then.
So these are global edits without color.
Yeah, because back in Photoshop in the layers, I did all my separation adjust, and I set the way the whole picture color how I wanted it. So it's okay for me to come in here with the global edit to do further fine adjust.
Yes, I can see now.
That.
Oh, now I actually understand how you can post-process lighting. It's actually amazing. You're controlling so much of the
basically,
colors,
I control the lighting here, how everything works, even background in the background.
Yeah, and the dress too. That was my most interesting takeaway. Is like you can control the lighting on her dress.
So I probably want to, once this, I need to drop the orange a bit because most Asian female lighters skin more lighter.
Warm. Yeah. Oh, not too warm. Yeah.
Okay, that's not fair. That's good right there.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with this.
I'm more than okay with that. I think it looks really good.
So one thing I can do is do a bit. This is more like, I wouldn't consider color grading yet, but you know what? I'm going to use this. I am going to use a gradient. I'm changing this to a soft light first. And see, what colors should I use? No.
Wow. What?
So I'm right now, I'm showing you how I use a gradient to do color grading.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I noticed. That's crazy. Just a simple gradient has that effect.
It really depends on colors in the pictures and the gradient color that you're using. You come up with different effects.
It meshes with each other, right? Oh, interesting. I've never touched any
Some
of these
color we
tools.
add with the color that is in the photo. Like this one. You see how that one?
Yeah.
So if I lower this,
it
would give a tint of color in there.
Yeah, a tint of pinkish. Yeah, right? I like it.
And then by going to the histogram here, lowering the black, you get this contrast back. You get the contrast at the same time the color hint in there.
Yeah. Wow.
That's one way I do with color. You see how even the cloud has a little pinkish in there?
Yeah.
So for final picture, that's fine. And if I want to do one more thing, let's say I want to do, the black and white color control.
Yeah, you kind of tease about that, like changing the colors of the black and white.
I will open a vibrant and then bring it to say 100. Okay, like that. That looks really bad, right?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
I'm not done yet. So I open a black and white filter, okay? change the capacity to 20%, meaning that I only allow 20% of this come out.
Okay.
Okay, and then check it out. I could isolate each color and not just using a black and white filter.
Oh, what? That's so amazing. So you're controlling the vibrance. Oh, you're using you really made it vibrant, and now you can select the colors because it's very vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
And you're adjusting how much of that color shows through.
Yep.
That's amazing.
So that way your color would never go over.
Yeah.
And you can control using black and white filters.
This is like a super, super, super bonus advanced tip. Like I can see it, but I cannot really encompass it enough to really use it. Or I don't know where at the point where there's just so much low hanging fruit. Yeah, there's so many low hanging fruit.
In this picture, it doesn't need it. It doesn't need it at all. I'm just showing you.
But nonetheless, that's really cool. I never seen anyone do that before.
So in a way, we could call it done here. But
yeah,
as you know me, I'm going to do one more combined layers.
Okay.
I am going into alien skin and snap R4 and make fine art out of it.
Make it like a painting.
Yep.
Make it like a painting.
Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Let me create a new mask on the subject. Okay, that looks pretty good. I probably don't need that anymore. Let me go and zoom in one. Yeah, that looks very oily now. Okay, perfect. So I'm not oily, oil painting-y, sorry. That's what I mean, not oily. You don't want an oil face.
No.
Okay, so see all the texture in there?
It looks so good.
I just have to get her face out to make it look crystal clear.
Yep, you're just removing the snap art filter.
And also the dress.
Yeah.
Get a little bit more detail so she become.
And I should be asking, you're not using a mouse, right? You're using one of those pressure sensitive. So that helps because the harder you push, the more effect you put, right?
Yep. So I can control my pressure by, my brush by the pressure. That's what I mean. Okay. So I think that's pretty good.
So we can have a link to below on the equipment you're using. What is that tablet? And we'll put a link to it at the bottom.
A lot of people buy expensive tablet, but I have buy the cheapest one. Bamboo.
What's
Welcome.
that? A bamboo?
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll leave a link below with the links to some of the good templates, as well as the simple, cheap one, the bamboo that Jeremy uses, which, as you can see, is not the tool, it's how you use the tool that makes the art.
So I found a stop here with this image from here to this.
Yeah.
It's pretty good already.
It's great. What are you talking about? You can submit it to a contest and win an award.
I already won an award with this, with the other process.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah.
Well done. Well deserved.
Okay, so you got any other questions on this or?
No, this is fantastic. This is really good. I mean, you've taught me and all the YouTubers that are watching this video a ton of information. This is the content that is normally in your presentation that you do at WPPI. You charge $129 per person. And even that one, that's probably like an hour, right? Whereas we got like the full blown version of it. But we're running close over 3 hours now.
Yeah.
And
I used to run 4-hour Photoshop class and something like that, like this.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot to take in, but because we record it, people can watch it in a couple of times and review it and make sure they really understand it, because everything you showed is really fundamental and basic. It's not like mind-blowingly difficult. It's just the concept is mind-blowing to someone that hasn't worked with digital photo before. I can see once I understand it and I can start applying it, it gives me so much more flexibility as I take the picture and as I edit the pictures I've already taken. So really, really good stuff. I mean, this knowledge is very valuable. I don't even think 129 at WPPI is justified. It's probably worth more than that.
Oh,
you,
actually,
you
the
were just
129 WPPI has less than this. You got, this is more.
This is great. I mean, very, very professional content here. Very entertaining watching you talk about it, your inspiration, where you came from, your history of how you made all the photos with the posing techniques and the artistic reference you use, and how you just put everything together. It's like a combination of all that in one lecture. I mean, you can go on YouTube and find videos about, oh, how to use this curve, right? Or a video on how to use Luminar 4. But here, you're putting the whole story together and how you edit from the beginning of how you got inspired to the result of how it looks like a painting with mood and separation of colors and execution and really nice sky and all that. So really great tutorial.
The whole creation on photograph is more like a full blown from pre-production, from concept, pre-production to actual shooting, and then to post-production, and also presentation. It's like a full blown. So having the mindset, knowing where to start and where to end, it helps.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You summarized it perfectly well. And if you guys have any questions, please let us know in the comments below. If you have ideas for future videos, let us know. And let me know if you guys are interested in getting a copy of Luminar 4, because that's what I'm getting right after this workshop. Also, snap art is pretty cool too. If you're into making your picture more artistic, getting that watercolor effect or the oil painting effect, really cool. I think in the links below, we have coupon codes too, right?
Yes.
They're actually included. We get a little percentage of that, so thank you for using our link. But it's good for you because it's discounted for you guys as well. So check them out. Let us know if you purchase anything, and let us know how it goes. And we would love to see your before and after shots too, because I'm excited. This can change your digital photography to the next level. Anything else you want to add, Jeremy?
No, thank you for watching, and hopefully it's not too long for you guys, and hope that there's some value that I added.
Definitely. I think they're going to find a lot of value in it. At least if they don't, I did. So thank you for your time, Jeremy. This
also, if you have any other questions about post-processing, do put in the comments and see if they will help me together and create more video for you guys.
Yes. Definitely. So subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Please do, because we plan to have a lot of content for you guys, and we enjoy doing this. So it's fun for us, but it's even more fun when we get your comments and feedback, so we can make videos that's valuable for everyone. And let us know by liking this video, so that way we know what content you guys are liking, so we can make more of that. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Jeremy, for your time.
Thank you, guys.
We will see you guys next time. Have a good evening. Have a good night. See ya.
See ya. Bye-bye.